this week's Go Bus Sports Live Show. I'm Harrison Simeon.
And I'm Zachary Giesenslaw.
It's February 6th, a week and a day from Valentine's. Zach, what is love?
You know, I think that love is something that I feel right here for you, Harrison.
That means more to me than you'll ever imagine. We start with the men's Hoopers, who snapped their 6-game losing streak at home against TCU on Sunday. Head coach Tad Boyle shook the snow globe, putting 3 true freshmen in the starting lineup for the first time in their careers. The switch worked. CU controlled the game from the jump, holding the Horned Frogs to just 32% shooting in the first half. In his first career start, freshman Josiah Sanders played his heart out, recording 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. The Colorado offense was on point all game, shooting 55% from the field and drilling 11 out of their 23 attempted three-pointers.
The men's basketball squad was unable to keep up with the Baylor Bears, losing by 19 points in Waco, Texas. Baylor's defense gave the Buffs all that they could handle, holding Colorado to just 40% from the floor. The Black and Gold got off to a rough start, turning the ball over 9 times in the first half alone, which Baylor was able to capitalize on and turned into 15 points. Baylor's Tunde Yusufu played a great game. He scored a game-high 27 points on 10 for 16 from the field. He also had 7 rebounds, 1 block, and a steal. The Buffs will have a chance to bounce back Saturday night against the Arizona State Sun Devils.
CU hosts ASU on Saturday. It will be the second meeting between the teams this season. Their first matchup was back in January in Tempe, a game the Buffaloes won 95-89. Colorado will have to focus on shutting down Sun Devils star guard Maurice Odom. He recorded 21 points in the team's first meeting, creating a defensive nightmare for CU's guards. Tip-off is set for 7:30 Mountain Time at the CU Event Center and can be watched live on ESPN2.
Colorado men's basketball gets another shot at Texas Tech this week after a wild first meeting in Boulder. The Buffs trailed by as many as 24 points before rallying late and ultimately falling by a single possession with a final score of 73-71. Since then, Colorado has shown stretches of better offense and more connected defense, but has struggled to close games consistently in Big 12 play. Texas Tech enters as one of the league's most dangerous teams from deep, taking and making the most three-pointers per game in the Big 12 while still playing physical on the glass. With revenge on the mind and conference positioning at stake, expect an intense rematch out of this game.
Welcome into Buff Banner. I'm Jake Chow, joined here with Mason Davis, and we're on the seats. You know who else is on the hot seat? Tad Boyle. Another maybe disappointing season, Mason. Is it time for the Buffs to move on from their head coach of 16 years?
I do think it is time for Colorado men's basketball to move on from Tad Boyle. Repeated being decent, but we are striving for more here in Boulder. Only one Elite 8 appearance, or one Tweet 16 appearance, no Elite 8 appearance in 16 years. I think late game offensive struggles. The defensive identity is there, but I want to see a little bit of change. I think now is the perfect time to move on from Tad and bring in some new leadership for the men's basketball team.
Yeah, certainly, Mason. And, I agree with you. It is kind of a mediocre thing here. But you have to remember that Boulder has historically been a football school, right? They never have built their identity on basketball. And so when you look at Sweet 16s and Elite 8s, that's not really what Colorado's been known for historically. And so that's why I think it's okay, right? And maybe we need to temper it down. I don't think that Tad should be fired at the end of this season. And especially when we look at the core that he has built, a young core, you only look at 3 upperclassmen in Elijah Malone, Bangot Dak, and Barrington Hargress. You look at what Tad is building right now, and I think you should be excited for the future, and that it's really important that they have that cohesion moving forward.
I do agree. I think that young leaders or that young talent is something that should really be important, but I also think if you brought in a new face, maybe a younger head coach to go along with that young talent, we could see newer heights here in Boulder. With a new athletic director, a younger talent, something like that. I think a new head coach that could bring in a new identity instead of just Tad's solid defense, bringing in a young coach, maybe an offensive mind from another school that could uplift our offense with this young talent. I think we could see new heights in Boulder in terms of Sweet 16s, Elite 8s. We've seen schools that are primarily focused more on football or more on basketball and build their programs on the other side up to something more. Just more engagement from the fans, everybody. I think to just boost everything up.
Yeah, I think if Colorado were to move on, this would be the time with that new athletic director and kind of at a point where they're not sure exactly what the identity is. But the way that the college landscape is shifting is the cohesion matters. When coaches leave, players leave. Look at Oklahoma State with their coach leaving in football. They had 60 guys hit the transfer portal for football, of course, and it's a little bit of a different story there. But it's ever more important and increasingly more important that coaches stay if they want to keep the culture of their team. And they're building a culture in Boulder right now, and I think that's why it's important that they have Tad at the helm.
I do see that. I think that there is a way to retain our young talent, keep these freshmen here, while replacing Tad. I think we've looked at programs in college basketball over the past decade, half decade. We've seen programs like Kansas State going on to Jerome Tang, and teams like UCLA going to Mick Cronin. They saw instant success within 2 years, going from kind of like where Colorado was, middle of the pack, middle of the conference, shooting up into, we saw the hype with Kansas State and everything, national attention there, and then UCLA reaching the Final Four, and Mick Cronin's just second year. I think Colorado could do something near that with a new head coach.
Yeah, I just worry about who would be leaving if that is the case. But that's Buff Banner. Head coach Tad Boyle, is he on the hot seat? Back to you guys at the desk.
Dang, pretty scathing. Thank you, Jake and Mason. On the women's side, Colorado basketball completed an undefeated weekend on the road. In an overtime thriller against the Kansas Jayhawks last Sunday, Ziana Walker scored a career-high 24 points on 50% shooting. Jade Masagayo tacked on an additional 21. Desiree Wooten added 15 from the bench, including game-sealing free throws in a 69-66 win over KU.
The Buffs kept it close with number 20 ranked West Virginia on Wednesday. Masagayo led the way with 13 points, while Betson brought down 10 rebounds and tacked on 7 points. Colorado got the lead as close as 2 points, but the Mountaineers pulled away in the final 5 minutes. The Buffs out-rebounded and had more bench points than West Virginia, but ultimately fell 61-55.
Looking forward, the Buffs will have their hands full against a well-rounded TCU team. The Horned Frogs sit atop the Big 12 standings and are ranked 12th in the nation. Led by Olivia Miles and Clara Silva, TCU is a top 15 defensive rebounding team while allowing the lowest field goal percentage in the country. Miles has 3 double-doubles and 4 triple-doubles on the season. Colorado will look to spell upset at the CU Event Center. Tip-off is set for 1 p.m. on Sunday.
The Buffs will go on the road to play the Houston Cougars next Wednesday. Houston is just 1-9 in their last 10 games and sits 7-15 overall. The Buffs will look to slow down the Cougars' offense with their methodical defense. Tip-off is set for 5:30 p.m. and will be streamed live on ESPN+.
Sophomore forward Tabitha Betson is a big part of the Buffs squad should they make the NCAA tournament. And after a quick leave of absence, she's back and better than ever. Here's Jake Chow with the scoop.
Head coach J.R. Payne and the Colorado women's basketball team is living life on the bubble. The 2026 squad looks nothing like the 2025 team, with only 4 returners, including sophomore forward Tabitha Betson, who has taken a step forward.
Tabitha is one of the most versatile players on our team. I think she's leading us in three-point field goal percentage. She's just a really smart player. She's played at a high level back home in Australia and here in the U.S. And, you know, as a veteran of the team, being here last year, she understands our system and the things that we're looking for and the way that we do things. And she's been a really critical piece to our success this year.
I feel like being one of like the 3 kind of returners is like a kind of a big deal, you know, especially with all these new people trying to kind of like set the scene of what the coaches want. I think going home and then coming back kind of like took me a little step back in that, obviously, because I'm new back into the group again. But I think very quickly they were like, no, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you know what they're supposed to be doing, so kind of take on that role. Which is what I've been doing more recently.
Betson took some time away from Boulder to visit her family back in Melbourne, Australia, as she thought about the next steps in her life. But at its center, basketball never left.
I think it honestly refocused me in terms of like figuring out, okay, basketball is really like what I want, and it's such a big part of myself.
And so it was like she never left Boulder. Despite that overhauled roster and the new faces, Betson and the Buffs never faltered.
You know, for a new player that's coming back in the middle of the season, you know, I didn't have any concerns, but I think she was a little bit worried just, you know, she's new and everyone's been here.
I was like, okay, like how is the team gonna feel about me going and coming back? But honestly, they were really welcoming.
Betson will be a key for the Buffs, should they pop their madness bubble as they make a run towards March.
They were a huge part of it. They definitely were like, she is a part of our team. Like she is really important to kind of like leadership and like on-court stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have her back, you know, for lots of different reasons. You know, for her leadership and composure and experience. And she's also just a really good player.
I was really close with like Jade last year, and she's a huge part of our team, huge part of our offense, and just her like immediate like acceptance and valuing what I'm saying and playing with me. I think that also helps set the tone with like other people as well.
This is Jake Chow reporting for Go Buff Sports.
She's done a great job of, like I said, keeping us organized, communicating through, you know, problem solving on the floor.
Colorado Lacrosse kicks off his season this Monday with a big game against the number 2 ranked Northwestern Wildcats. The Buffs are 1-5 all-time against the Wildcats with a 20-5 loss in their matchup last season. Northwestern fell just short of the national championship last season, falling to North Carolina 12-8 in the final. The Buffs will have their work cut out for them, and CU will head to Martin Stadium in Evanston, Illinois, an arena it has never won in, to battle the Wildcats at 6 p.m., streamed live on Big Ten Plus.
Colorado heads into this season predicted to place third in the Big 12. Well, disappeared for lacrosse and had 4 players earn Big 12 preseason honors. Jess Peluso won preseason co-defender of the year. Elena O took home preseason goalie of the year, while Maddie Shoup and Lily Assini made preseason all Big 12, along with Peluso and O. Buff fans will get their first chance to see those 4 and more in person on February 15th against the Cornell Bears at Prentup Field. CU won't play its first conference game against March 28th against San Diego State at home.
The Buff ski team nearly completed a remarkable comeback at the Nevada Invitational, rallying from a 61-point deficit to pull within 8 points of Utah by the end of the meet. Colorado surged during the giant slalom events behind a dominant showing where the CU men swept the podium for the first time in a decade to score a perfect 111 points. Nordic teams return to action next weekend at the Denver Invitational, now at the Frisco Nordic Center this Saturday.
And the opening ceremony has finally begun for the 2026 Milano Cortina Olympics. 8 Buffs are participating in this year's games, 2 of whom are current CU athletes. Hugo Hinkvist and Jacob Mock will compete in the Nordic skiing for teams Australia and Germany, respectively. Estonia's Alvar Elev will join Hinkvist and Mock on the Nordic Trail. Canada's Cass Gray will join USA's Ryder Sarchit on the Alpine slopes. Sarchit was part of the Buffs' 2024 national championship winning team and is the first male alpine skier from CU in nearly 30 years. USA's Stacy Gaskill will take part in snowboarding, Sway Irving in freeski, and Joanne Reed in biathlon.
All right, everybody, and now it is time for this week's trivia question. 8 Olympians are representing the Buffs at this year's Olympic Games in Milano Cortina. And our question for you this week, what year saw the most Buffs compete in the Winter Olympics? We'll have that answer for you later in the show.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your Buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Skull Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
The women's golf squad did not have a great start to their spring season, placing 10th out of 12 teams at the Collegiate Invitational at Guadalajara, Mexico. Ellen O'Shaughnessy finished the tournament 3 over and tied for 15th place. She was the highest placing Buff of the tournament and recorded the only round under par for the team. All other members of the Colorado quintet finished 11 over or worse, plummeting the total score to 39 over on the weekend. The Buffs traveled to Tucson, Arizona to compete in the Thunderbird Intercollegiate starting on Monday.
Buffs track and field is back in action today, and this time it's right here at home. The annual Colorado Classic is taking place in Boulder at the Ford Practice Facility, one of the Buffs' key indoor home meets of the season. Field events got underway at noon today, while the track athletes will look to build on their strong starts to the season. Tomorrow. The men's distance squad currently holds the top spot in the NCAA Indoor Mile. Fans can find out if it can keep that momentum going tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the Ford Practice Facility.
Last weekend, the tennis team defeated Miami of Ohio 6-1 to improve to 3-0 on the season. However, the team then traveled to Denver on Sunday, where they suffered their first loss 4-2 against the Pios. CU is still undefeated in doubles play, but its efforts in singles matchups fell just short of DU's. Tennis has this weekend to rest before traveling to Minneapolis to take on 3 different opponents next weekend.
CU women's hockey is in a bit of a tough stretch late in the regular season. The Buffs lost both games last weekend to the Utah Utes, both by a score of 2-1. But they have a chance to turn it around and get revenge on the Utes at home this weekend. The Buffs play tonight at 5 on Hockey Fights Cancer Night and Saturday morning on Youth Hockey Day. Those games will be streamed live on ScoBuff Sports, so stay tuned.
The regular season may be finished for men's D2 hockey, but the playoffs are just getting started. This Saturday at 3, Colorado will face off against either the University of Wyoming or Colorado State. The Cowboys and Rams will play against each other on Friday night at 8 p.m. in Fort Collins, the winner earning the 4th spot in the Big Mountain Hockey Conference Tournament to play against the first-time conference championship Buffs. Saturday's game will be at the CU Rec Ice Rink and streamed live right here on ScoBuff Sports on YouTube.
Men's D1 hockey is still in the regular season and plays its penultimate home series this weekend against San Diego State. The Buffs and Aztecs sit at the bottom of the Western Collegiate Hockey League standings, with CU in 10th and SDSU in 11th. Colorado has lost 4 in a row and is 2-8 in his last 10 games, but it wasn't all bad as CU was able to break its New Year scoreless streak in its 2-game series against Missouri State. Puck drop against the Aztecs is at 8 p.m. on Friday and 7 on Saturday, with both games at the Rec and right here on ScoBuff Sports.
We're just a few days away from Super Bowl 60, the big game in Santa Clara. Sunday's game will feature one former Colorado Buffalo on the NFL's biggest stage. Brady Russell, class of 2023, is the current fullback and a backup tight end for the Seattle Seahawks. He also serves as the special teams captain of the franchise. Russell is the first alum to represent the program since Isaiah Oliver in Super Bowl 58. Despite several alumni to play in the past few years, no former Buff has been on a championship-winning roster since Nate Soldier with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 53. Christian Gonzalez, New England's top cornerback, also spent 2 seasons with the Buffaloes before transferring to Oregon, where he became a future first-round draft pick.
Hey Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 5 plays in Colorado sports. A bit of a lull in the action again this weekend, but nonetheless, we're still got some stuff to cover, so let's dive right in. Going to number 5, we go to women's hoops against West Virginia. Desiree Woot off the fast break. She'll get that open layup right over the defender for the Mountaineers. Let's get a slow-mo look at that going up that right side, laying it up. Boom, ladies and gentlemen, off that fast break. What a play. The Buffs only down by 3. Let's go to men's hoops now for number 4, this time against the Baylor Bears. Tough game here, but it's stolen by Josiah Sanders, and he's going to send it over to Jalen Holland, who launches for 3, and he gets it from downtown, right between the eyes. That was a tough game against Baylor, though, I will admit. Let's go to women's hockey now for number 3. It's picked up by Sophie O'Brien going up that far side of the rink. Takes a shot. Rebound in by Fischelli. She tips it in right out in front. What a play. And that game is tied at 1. Tough series, though. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Pro Bowl. Look, it's Shador Sanders and Garrett Bowles. You can't keep him out of the end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, Bowles' second touchdown of the game for the AFC. And just look at this. Sanders, tremendous accuracy, and Bowles making that tremendous catch. I don't think I've ever seen a lineman score a touchdown, but it's the Pro Bowl. Anything can happen. Now for number 1 now, let's go over to Isaiah Johnson. And the Dak attack! A monster slam for Bangot Dak against the TCU Horned Frogs right here in Boulder. Huge win for Colorado. That's going to do it for this week here on ScoBuff Sports Play of the Week. I'm Kieran Walker, wishing you a wonderful weekend.
Here we see Xavier McNevitz working on his reader for the live show. If we didn't have these readers done by Thursday night, chances are we would not be airing this show right now. Be like Xavier. Get your readers done. And don't forget to click save so that you don't lose any of your hard-earned work.
Well, I don't know if you have any plans Sunday morning at 3:30 a.m., but if you do, you're going to need to cancel them because this is rapid fire. Starting off tomorrow, Saturday, we got the Colorado Classic indoor track and field event. It's going all day long. You're not going to want to miss any of the track or the field. After that, we're going to have men's basketball taking on Arizona State Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Great way to just enjoy your Saturday night. Fun fact, they'll have $3 beers and snacks before the game. Then, not at 1 p.m., but at 3:30 a.m., like I mentioned, we have got the downhill race at the Olympics where, I won't say who, but there is a CU alumni racing. Also, couldn't include it here, but it's a doubleheader. Then at 4:30, there's like the 10K in Nordic, also featuring some CU student athletes. But last but not least, how are you going to pregame the Super Bowl? Obviously, It's Colorado women basketball taking on Texas Christian University. Come on, the Horned Frogs. Also $3 beers before the game. It'll be a hoot. Back to you in the studio. That's rapid fire.
And now it's time for your answer to this week's trivia question. As a reminder, we asked you, what year saw the most Buffs compete in a Winter Olympics? The answer is, drumroll please, 1972, which saw 13 Buffaloes competing.
Rather than the tweet of the week, we're shouting out some SCO Buffers who officially made our club award-winning. Roberto Patrick Jera, our longtime photo director, won third place of the 2026 Rushies Awards for this gorgeous snap of Ralphie. And just this afternoon, our business reporter and director of morale, Lincoln Roach, won the Hearst Sports Writing Competition for his in-depth coverage of anti-Mormon behavior from CU students at September's BYU football game. Congrats, Berto and Lincoln. And that's all for this week's live show. Hope you guys have a lovely weekend.
You know, Harrison, I hope you're still feeling all the love that I have for you, as I expressed earlier in the show.
The feeling is mutual.
Well, I'm really so glad to hear that. For all of us here at SCO Buff Sports, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And remember, you heard it here first.
Welcome to this week's SCO Buff Sports live show. I'm Harrison Simeon.
And I'm Zachary Giesenslaw.
It's February 6th, a week and a day from Valentine's. Zach, what is love?
You know, I think that love is something that I feel right here for you, Harrison.
That means more to me than you'll ever imagine. We start with the men's Hoopers, who snapped their 6-game losing streak at home against TCU on Sunday. Head coach Tad Boyle shook the snow globe, putting 3 true freshmen in the starting lineup for the first time in their careers. The switch worked. CU controlled the game from the jump, holding the Horned Frogs to just 32% shooting in the first half. In his first career start, freshman Josiah Sanders played his heart out, recording 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. The Colorado offense was on point all game, shooting 55% from the field and drilling 11 out of their 23 attempted three-pointers.
The men's basketball squad was unable to keep up with the Baylor Bears, losing by 19 points in Waco, Texas. Baylor's defense gave the Buffs all that they could handle, holding Colorado to just 40% from the floor. The Black and Gold got off to a rough start, turning the ball over 9 times in the first half alone, which Baylor was able to capitalize on and turned into 15 points. Baylor's Tunde Yusufu played a great game. He scored a game-high 27 points on 10 for 16 from the field. He also had 7 rebounds, 1 block, and a steal. The Buffs will have a chance to bounce back Saturday night against the Arizona State Sun Devils.
The regular season all leads to this. Game 1 of the Big Mountain Hockey Conference playoffs here for this Colorado Buffaloes team. 11-0 in the regular season. They look to stay undefeated in the Big Mountain Conference. Quinn Crack alongside Kieran Warner. Nick Evans, our producer. Paxton Hines on the camera. And Kieran, we have playoff hockey here today.
This is exciting, Quinn. I don't think I've ever had this much excitement in my body covering a game here in this rink. It's very quiet now, but nonetheless, Colorado ready to take on Wyoming here in Boulder. Playoff hockey returning to the CU Rec Center. It's very exciting. Obviously, Colorado, Quinn, coming into this game off the bye week, and obviously holding that number 1 seed in the Big Mountain Hockey Conference. So they're going to look to make a statement here at home this afternoon.
Absolutely. Playing against a tired University of Wyoming team. Yesterday they played CSU to make it here tonight. They won in a 4-1 thriller. And CU needs to come out early against this Wyoming team. Wyoming is going to be tired. They're going to have not fresh legs. CU going to be able to get the jump here early.
Absolutely. Arguably, probably a very weak opponent played last night when they played the Rams up in Fort Collins. That was pretty brutal game for the Rams for sure. And the last-minute goal put them on the boards and prevented the shutout. But nonetheless, coming in and facing off against Colorado, it's going to be a far different story here tonight. And Colorado going to take advantage of some fresh legs coming out here on the ice here at home and make a statement.
Absolutely. Colorado needs to be careful, though. Wyoming, obviously, maybe a little looser than they are. Colorado had the off night yesterday. They're coming off of a 1-1-1 series last weekend in Arizona, which Caleb Allen got his first loss of the year last weekend, fell to GCU, and a tough loss for the team. But he's been solid all season, 12-1 so far, looking absolutely fantastic. Going up against Jesse Easterwood, an interesting matchup here today.
Absolutely. Allen obviously losing his first game of the season. I'm sure that's still very fresh in his memory, but he's returning home after that tough road trip down to Arizona, looking to turn the tides back in his favor. He's starting in net tonight. Along with it's a packed lineup tonight for Colorado, especially returning home.
Yes, this home crowd a little empty here so far. Hopefully going to fill up a little bit more. Not a couple minutes here till puck drop, but absolutely these teams are just getting ready to get going. Colorado going to be coming out, and their offense has just been great all season. Been able to score, dominated so far this season. First in the BMHC, 4 goals allowed. I mean, not goals allowed, goals for. Just playing fantastic hockey.
Absolutely. And we were talking about this off air about who we think is going to score that first goal for Colorado. It was a toss-up. I mean, Nick, myself, we brought in David Levkis, obviously the senior captain for this team. But you brought in Brick Fisher, and for good reason, too.
Absolutely. Brick Fisher has been unbelievable for this CU team. A freshman coming in and absolutely showing out. 2 hat tricks on the season, 1 6-goal game. Fisher's going to play a large role, and his line mate Levkis. They've been going back and forth, a lot of passing between the two of them. He's really been setting up his opportunities all season long.
Absolutely. The veteran with the rookie, that dynamic really taking shape here on this Colorado squad, and one that will hopefully propel Fisher into the future as he possibly becomes a star for this Colorado D2 team.
Head coach Chip Hick going with a different lineup here to start, though. DePonio is going to get the start on the left wing with Levkis in center, Clark alongside him, and then Hadrick and Stone playing defense with Allen obviously getting the start. And I thought Calvin Stone had a fantastic BMHC tournament earlier when they had the Big Mountain Classic here at CU. He had a great tournament, lots of points, lots of goals, and CU has really been working out of their defensive end to score goals. The defense has been heavily involved. Crowd getting things going here as players wait to take the ice.
Still, like you said, Quinn, still kind of a sparse crowd here to start out, but I'm sure more people will come in as the night progresses. Lots of Wyoming fans here this evening. We talked to a couple parents. By the way, folks, so all of you tuning in at home, thank you so much for watching Scoba Sports. We do appreciate all of your gratitude that you express to us, and it's an absolute honor to get to cover these games for all of you at home.
Certainly. I mean, I feel absolutely honored being able to get this playoff game here. So exciting. These teams playing to see who will face off against DU MSU tomorrow. As we take a look at the captains of both these teams, Ian Ballard, he's got 27 points on the season against Isaac Neff's 16. Both playing really good roles. Isaac Neff's missed a couple games so far this season, but he is an absolutely core component of this team.
Absolutely. Looks like he's going to come back out tonight, as it looks like he will lead the charge for Colorado coming out onto the ice for the introduction of tonight's starting lineups, which we'll get momentarily.
Absolutely. These teams, like I was saying, looking to face off here tomorrow. Not here tomorrow. They'll be at the Promenade Ice Center against either Metro State or Denver University. Both of those teams playing right now. DU with a 1-0 lead in the first period. They started at 2:30, and MSU won the conference last season able to beat DU actually in that final game. CU fell to DU in this game, the game before, the semifinal obviously, and the CU dominated so far, as we said, undefeated so far in the BMHC, and they just look fantastic. They won the regular season very early on, and they'll look to keep that momentum going through.
Looks like they're standing by as they're getting ready to take to the ice, and the officials are coming out of their respective locker room.
Looks like things are finally getting underway here.
You got Freebird blasting up here in the rink. This is a great song choice to skate out to. The linesmen will come out, place the nets.
Both teams looking amped up here as they wait to get out on the ice. Only a few minutes away from puck drop. Karen, you got any expectations here? Anything you think that they got to do?
I think Colorado's just got to keep doing what they've been doing all season, Quinn. They've shown that they are a second period team, but I think the fresh legs here today is going to really put them up on a huge advantage against this Cowboys team who played a great game last night against the Rams, but are definitely tired coming down here to Boulder.
I could not agree more. I mean, we've talked about it all season, CU being a second period team, but today they need to come out with a quick start, really get Wyoming playing on their heels, and just kind of see if they're able to get the jump on them early after Wyoming's played a long, long journey to get here playing yesterday. As teams take to the ice here, CU skating out to the half line.
Will Hadrick among the first on the ice, and he looks fired up, ladies and gentlemen, on the near side. As Caleb Allen will take to his net. We are moments away from the introduction of tonight's starters.
Both teams lining up now at their end lines.
Excellent sweater choice for the Cowboys coming down here to Boulder, going with that vintage style, I will say. Color scheme for Wyoming is not the greatest, but these sweaters are certainly incredible. As we'll now go down for the introduction of the starting lineups.
Joe May. At left wing, number 7, Dax Thomas. At right D, number 28, Patrick Grath. At left D, number 24, Nate Venus. And at goaltender, number 51, Jesse Easterwood. And now for your Colorado Buffaloes. Starting at right wing, number 22, Corey DePonia. Starting at center, number 71, David Lefkis. Starting at left wing, number 28, Ben Clark. Starting at right D, number 23, Calvin Stone. Starting at left D, number 27, Will Hadrick. And starting in net, number 31, Caleb Allen. Now will you please direct your attention to the American flag as we play the national anthem.
Thank you.
Excitement flowing from both benches here as players not even able to stand still for the national anthem as we get ready to play some playoff hockey here at the CU Ice Rink. Thank you all for joining us here today. What a day.
Absolutely, Quinn. What a day, not just in this rink, but outside as well. It's a glorious, glorious sunny day out here in Boulder. Unseasonably warm, in fact, as it has been. 60 degrees. Says it feels like 54 right now. A little bit of clouds coming in, but nonetheless, an unseasonably warm winter for Colorado heading into February.
Absolutely. The usual balmy 34 here in the CU Ice Rink as we get ready for the puck drop. Both starting lineups now coming. Wyoming will tap up with their goaltender. CU at the bench. Buffs looking for a hot start here in this third period.
It's tall Isaac Neffs right over on his bench. He is hyped as he'll head to his bench. And there he is, David Levkis, heading out for Colorado, starting.
He'll face off here against May as the face-off puck is dropped. And we are underway with playoff hockey. Levkis skates the blue line. Soft shot will end up behind the net. May picks it up. Batted down out of the air by Thomas. Hadrick will go D-to-D. DePonio. Skating in. Puck will come out of the zone all the way into the CU. Back behind the net, the first one to it is Polacek. Both teams not wanting to make a mistake here very early as Polacek works out of his own end. Working it in is Clark at the dot. He'll get a pass into the center. No one is there as it's intercepted by Mario Rodriguez. At the red line, Alexandrov unable to come up with it. It'll come all the way down and be played by Lotzer. Back down into the Wyoming end. Working it out behind his own net, Trey Campbell. Dominic Alexandrov gets hit down to the ground. Loose puck taken and passed all the way down by Ian Bullard, captain of this Wyoming Cowboys team. Alexandrov's forced to stop at the blue line waiting for some help. Puck will bounce down into the corner and is picked up again by Ballard. Unable to handle it at the red line, at the blue line was Chase Mesner. This will come down and Allen will be forced to play it. Neffs will get a touch that one. Alexandrov's shot doesn't make its way to the net. Battling along the boards. Wyoming will come up with it. Going down to a knee was Nolenberg. He keeps possession. Backhand dump in. Allen plays it off the glass. Siozako tipped right in front. Early save made by Allen. A nice tip in front by Berg. Wyoming re-enters the zone. This one goes off a skate. Dangerous chance for Wyoming on a tip. Messner will handle it behind his own net. Puck play is blown dead here. Looks like it might be a hand pass.
It could have been a hand pass. That puck was coming down from the rafters, didn't actually make it up in, so play continued. But that pass nearly deflected up and it was batted down. One of Colorado's players, and they'll get a draw in their zone. Smithberger in for the faceoff.
The faceoff here against Joe May. Smithberger wins the faceoff in his own end. Back behind the net, it's Stone. Janine. Buffs on the breakout, they'll turn it over. Venus passes it over. Brick Fisher, team's leading goal scorer and point scorer, will pass it over to Smithberger. He'll work his way in. Back to Fisher. Fishburne. He'll walk it in. In tight. Goes back behind the net. Doesn't get the shot off. He'll go back up top. Stone goes to Hadrick. Hadrick's hounded at the blue line. He'll lose possession. Buffs are forced to tie up. Fisher nearly losing possession, but the Buffs able to maintain. Hadrick passing it up. This one jumps over the stick, will go all the way down. Rimmed off the glass. Unable to keep the zone as the Buffs yet again. Wyoming working it out at their own end. With some speed, it's Ballard. His shot into the chest of Allen. He swallows it up after it is left loose in his crease. Bit of a conservative start here from both teams, kind of making sure to keep things easy, easing each other into the game.
Absolutely. Colorado, obviously, like we've said, they're coming off some fresh legs, and this Wyoming team is quite the opposite, playing CSU the previous night and putting up a dominating performance. They're trying to feel it out, feel Colorado out, as are the Buffs with the Cowboys.
Strong forecheck here by the Buffs. Puck comes up top, tipped around. That one goes well wide. Ballard passes it up. Polacek at the blue line. He'll choose to dump it in. DePonio tags up. Not able to get enough pressure on. Easily entering the zone is Landon Lotzer. Wallstad. Back behind the net, Polacek will look for a pass. DePonio. Off the wall. Comes back behind the net. Along the wall, it's Levkis. David Levkis looking for some space for a pass. They'll choose to dump it in deep. Back behind the net, Lotzer. Puck clears the zone, Perry. He'll go for the easy dump. Buffs will get some fresh legs. At the blue line, puck comes the other way, Berg. Puck's taken off of his stick by Perry. Both teams battling for it along the boards. Milliman rings one down off the half wall. Tanner Simpson back behind the net. Not able to exit the zone. Comes all the way back behind Allen again. Perry. Soft pass. That one will lead to a turnover. Loose puck picked up by Simpson. He'll flip it all the way down. And this will go not for an icing. Jesse Easterwood wanted the icing. They're not going to get it. Fisher on the forecheck. Opportunity. Stick handles right in front. Turns around. Shot. That one blocked in front. A strong block there by Jaden Mobayed. Comes up top. Hadrick. Back behind the net. He'll look for a pass. Hadrick goes up top to Alexandrov. He'll go back to Hadrick's one-timer attempt. Well wide. People starting to fill in here as the Buffs get some offensive zone time. Stone walking it in. He'll lose the puck. And Berg's able to take control and dump it out. Hadrick handles it and goes D. Calvin Stone. Dumps that puck in deep. Ends up here. Back behind Easterwood. At the red line, another turnover in the offensive end. Janine. Puck bounces right in front for Fisher. He fans on the shot. Penalty coming here on Wyoming. Buffs with a power play opportunity here with 13-12 to go in the first period.
Early chance for Colorado on the man advantage. They're going to look to capitalize as Colorado's crowd continues to grow here at the CU Rec Center.
This Wyoming team, not a team that took a lot of penalties in the regular season. They were last in the BMHC for penalty minutes allowed. As Buffs get a nice power play opportunity. 47% on the power play. First in the at BMHC. Wyoming with some confusion at the bench. And we'll get the puck drop here as Levkis comes in the face-off dot against Bo Donnellan. Face-off won by Levkis. Janine flips it up top to Hedrick. That puck comes loose. Wyoming nearly an opportunity the other way. Almost sprung Mario Rodriguez, but Buffs pick it back up. Janine He'll spin and dump it down low. Wyoming picks it up again, another dump out. Strong kill so far here by the Cowboys.
Beautiful stick work by Will Hadrick and Josh Janine on that last series, able to keep it in. Hadrick barely offsides, but he manages to escape unharmed.
Janine forces tag up at the blue line. Levkis, Buffs trying to keep it simple. Turnover here the other way as it's dumped in by Donnellan. Wyoming will change its forward unit. Levkis with speed and space. He'll bring it in along the left wing side. Back behind the net, Levkis circling. Still with possession. He'll bring it all the way up to the left circle. That one tipped in front. That one goes just wide. Sun setting a little bit here at the event center. The rec center. Up top, Alexandrov. DePonio. Back behind the net now. Smithberger will go back up top to DePonio. DePonio over to Levkis. Levkis with some space. He'll shoot it, tipped in front. That one goes just wide again. Buffs trying to find some tips right in the crease. Pass over Smithberger. Not able to handle it for the one-timer. He'll pass it into the center for Levkis. Levkis walking it in. Shot. Another one wide. Deflected off some traffic. Alexandrov trying to find a pass. He'll go simple to Fisher. Fisher finding Levkis. Levkis, plenty of time. Shot right into the logo of the Wyoming. Another shot. That one goes wide. Smithberger with a nice chance. And a whistle here. It's like maybe in a...
I'm not quite sure what the stoppage is for.
Looks like it might be something wrong with the helmet of Jesse Easterwood. He's made some quick stops here early. Buffs, lots of tips in front, but not a lot of them getting on net.
Yeah, Smithberger was dangerously placed right on the corner of that net as that was tipped by Levkis. Smithberger nearly got that rebound in, but he sent it just wide.
5 seconds here on the power play for the Buffs. Marius Kraskis steps into the faceoff dot here against Daxton Thomas. Kraskis wins that faceoff back. Power play about to end here. Perry will choose to dump it down. Back to even strength. Bach. Fresh out of the box is May. He'll pick it up. Turns it over to Elijah Sue. Elijah Sue's shot. That one blockered away. Puck loose in the crease. Comes out behind the net. Picked up by Alex Bach. Passing it up top now to Chase Messner. Back behind the net, Kraskis will come in for it. Wyoming able to pick it up. And it escapes the zone as Perry's forced to dump it back in deep as CU will get some fresh legs out on the ice. Joe May goes cross ice onto the stick of Daxton Thomas. Hadrick, unable to handle that puck, it'll come into the zone. Getting with it is Landon Lotzer. It'll be picked up by the captain, Isaac Neffs. Buffs trying to settle things down here. Polacek goes to Messner. Isaac Neffs waits, passes it over for Dominic Alexandrov. Shot patted right into the way. A good stop there made by Easterwood.
Simpson racing for the puck on that last series, trying to get the rebound, but he'll head to the bench. Dangerous chance for Colorado to score.
Wyoming with an opportunity. This one will be held up as it's for offsides. Wyoming. After the tag up coming in on the forecheck. Brought in the center, Alexandrov gets a stick on it. Wyoming with a chance the other way now. Over to Ballard. That's poked away by Polacek. Dominic Alexandrov behind the net. He'll bring it over to Clark. Clark gets absolutely flattened by Ethan Milliman. Puck's tipped in. CU will be the first one to it. It's Ralstad. Clark sending it all the way down. Levkis tries to beat the icing in the foot race, does not make it. Buffs bench absolutely furious by that call.
Yeah, Corey DePonio was racing down. He was not pleased. David Lefkis having some words with the linesman as the draw will come back to his zone, and his line will have to stay out.
Close call at the end. Line leads to a Buffs icing here as Lefkis faces off now up against Wesley Amos. Amos loses that face-off. It's picked up by Polacek. Ralstad flips it up. In the neutral zone, Wyoming will come up with it. Berg, his shot turned away by Allen Easley. Bit of a juicy rebound left by Allen, but Ralstad picks it up. Puck comes down all the way. First one to it on a strong effort is Clark. Clark trying to pass it over to Pony. Puck is loose. Save made. Wide open net. Smithburger. Save made. Puck is still loose right in front. What a sequence there by Jesse Easterwood. Buff still with possession. At the top, Stone passing it over to Smithburger. Puck comes all the way down. Some chaos in front of the net. Buffs finally generating some good chances.
Ben Clark in a dangerous situation right up in the kitchen.
Smithburger trying to get the sauce into the middle. Buffs still with possession. Clark passing it down low, working it as Fisher trying to go right over the right shoulder. What a performance by Jesse Easterwood. Looking fantastic in net here early.
Easterwood, that is going on play of the week, ladies and gentlemen. That's just incredible. Holy cow. We saw something similar last night from Shira Wine on our women's team, and I mean, she made some diving saves, and oh my God, a Herculean effort by Easterwood here today.
Absolutely, some desperation stops to keep it here at 0-0. Fisher. Shot from the point right into the O of the Wyoming logo, and it's easily swallowed up by Easterwood. Buffs beginning to pile on the pressure here in the offensive zone, finally able to get something generated.
First 10 minutes or so of this period, Quinn, Colorado still being a little conservative, seeing what this Wyoming team was all about, but they're turning on the Jets here in the latter half of this period.
Absolutely. Pressure keeps going here as Smithburger picks it up back behind the net. Hadrick. At the blue line, Buffs come up with it again. It's Josh Janine. Janine working it in. Shot save made again. Another attempt. Wide of the net. Some quick shots in front here by the Buffs, but they cannot beat Jesse Easterwood. Buffs still trying to work it in. Hadrick. He takes it below the circles with a shot. That one turned away by Easterwood. Smithburger trying to find the crease, unable to. 7 minutes here to go in this first period. Still 0-0 in this playoff game. Fisher passes it into the center. Shot by Janine. Score! Josh Janine scores the first goal of this game on a simple wrist shot. Finally able to beat Jesse Easterwood.
Well, considering what we saw earlier from this Colorado team as we entered the latter half of this period, I mean, Josh Janine just with a simple shot right down the middle, sneaks it past Easterwood, and that's how you do it right there, Quinn. That was beautifully executed by Colorado.
Exactly what the Buffs needed, getting a goal here in this first period on a tired Wyoming team. Puck is won by Lepkus. And Colorado working with some momentum now in their favor as it's tipped in by Clark. Polacek bats it down with his hand. It's picked up back behind the net by Bo Donnellan. Skating with it the other way, trying to get his teammate is Captain Ian Bullard. Trying to make the move, unable to. Staying strong at the top of the circles was Polacek. Coming the other way now. Opportunity here for the Corey DePonio. That one's poked off his stick as Lefkis dumps it in. First one to the puck behind the net is Patrick McGrath. Picked up by Volko. Passes it for Elijah Sue. That shot's blocked and up into the netting. Bo Donnellan got a piece of that one.
One of the first times the puck has hit the netting here tonight.
Fans getting into this game now with the Buffs up 1-0. 6 minutes to go in the first period. Alex Bach at the face-off dot. Beats Amos cleanly. Balco. Cross-ice pass, Perry unable to handle it. Buffs are forced to get out of the zone. Dump and chase here for the Buffs. Works as Elijah Sue picks it up. Alex Bach. Balco. Poked away at the blue line. Buffs regain possession, but it's played with a high stick.
Draw coming back out to neutral territory.
Kroskis facing off against Amos. Face off by Kroskis. Quick move into the offensive zone. Passing it in for Elijah Sue. Does not connect. Marius Kroskis will go up top. Perry. Back to Kroskis. Puck exits the zone. Wyoming looking to get some offense. They've not been in the offensive end for quite some time. This one goes right on to Allen. He'll cover it up for a face-off.
Allen not taking any chances. It's the strong Wyoming team looking to upset Colorado. And Nolan Berg just coming right down the slot, applying that pressure.
Shot off the face-off, and they score. The Wyoming Cowboys tie it at 1. What a quick shot right off of the draw by Daxton Thomas. A quick turnaround here as Wyoming absolutely flips the script.
Speechless.
Allen caught by surprise on that shot. And we are tied at 1 here with 5 minutes to go in the first period. Another quick face-off here picked up by Toponio.
Just when Colorado started to let their guard down, they're going to need to pick it back up here as this game is now tied at 1. Wyoming not resting.
Braxton Thomas shoots one in, and Allen, easy glove save. Quick turnaround there by Wyoming. Buffs hoping to win this face-off and not a repeat of that goal as it's picked up by Alexandrov. Dumped out by CU. Neffs with some speed. He'll kill the icing. Back behind the net. Neffs trying to get his team back on top. Passes it over to Hadrick. That one's stopped by the pad of Easterwood. Going across. Working it in. Shot. That one stopped by Easterwood again. Rebound maintained by Neffs. A strong shift here by the Buffs captain. He'll clear it down low. Wyoming comes up with it again. Another turnover here for the Buffs. Alexandrov shot. He turns and shoots, but that one goes wide. Buffs getting some fresh legs now. Fresh legs here now. Stone works it into the dot. Shot. That one falls into the pads of Jesse Easterwood. He did not know where that puck went. He thought it went over his shoulder.
Easterwood looked terrified there for a second. He's still looking for the puck, but it manages to make it into his pad. He can feel it in there. He's trying to grab it out, but that was, what a setup.
They still have not found this puck. Perhaps it's in the abyss that the other puck went in the other time we did this D2 game. There it is. Falls right out of his jersey there.
Lefkus and company back out on the ice for Colorado in a crucial draw.
Tie up, puck finally kicks loose. Wyoming gains possession. Able to get it out of their own zone. Clark. Coming the other way now is Wyoming. Puck's tipped in on Allen. He'll cover it up with 3:48 to go in this first period.
I will say though, Quinn, Caleb Allen has not seen a whole lot of shots on net so far, especially in the in the last couple minutes or so. Colorado just been dominant.
Absolutely. McGrath's shot, that one's gloved down by Allen. For only his 5th shot faced so far this game, Colorado out shooting them 12-5. Colorado's really had that offense going, and just a quick shot off the faceoff kind of really surprised Allen, and game's tied at 1. Wyoming looking to move on here in this BMHC tournament as this faceoff is won by the Cowboys. Up top to McGrath, he'll dump it in. Ralstad picks it up. McGrath trying to get a shot on net. That one doesn't make its way through traffic. Smithberger, he'll flip it up. Glove down and dumped in. Back behind the net, it's Polacek. Buffs with some miscommunication, still unable to get out of their own zone here as it's picked up by Bullard. Bullard trying to pass it into the crease. That puck ends up back behind the net again. Passing to center, McGrath's shot, that one goes wide. Another quick shot. Wyoming peppering Caleb Allen here early. Net is off its moorings. They're still playing. Puck play finally blown dead.
Talk about Wyoming trying to flip the script here as we head into the final 3 minutes of this first period. The game is tied at 1.
Net back on its moorings here as Levkis lines into his face-off dot against Amos. Face-off comes out and is taken by Clark. He'll gain the red line. Clark tries to get a backhand on, unable to. Amos is the first one to it. Berg unable to knock that one down. He'll go all the way for an icing with 2:30 to go in the first period.
Just like that, the tides have shifted once again in favor of Colorado.
Offensive chance here to the left of Jesse Easterwood. Smithberger will line up in the faceoff against Amos. Smithberger wins it back up to Fisher. It's poked off of his stick. Wyoming with some speed the other way. Berg trying to be the first one to that puck. Messner beats him to it. Played along the half wall by Glenn. Puck comes loose and is taken the other way by CU. Taken in the other way now by Smithberger. Smithberger, he has that poked off of his stick. Janine. Tie up right here in front of the Wyoming bench. It'll come up. Messner pokes it off the stick of Berg. Trying to take it in is Heck. He's unable to. Fisher with some speed, looking to regain the lead for his team. He'll lose possession as it'll exit the zone. Some speed the other way. May working it in. His shot gloved down by Allen on the odd man chance the other way. A minute 40 to go here in this first period.
Lots of back and forth between both of these squads heading into the final 2 minutes.
Puck is won by the Buffs in their own zone. Hadrick trying to get it up. It'll hop over the stick of Trey Campbell. Buffs on the forecheck, unable to come up with it. Stone. Stick handling at the blue line. His shot. That one goes off a stick. Floats but stays in. Hadrick at the blue line, not able to keep the zone. Puck's back over to May. He'll kick it over. Calvin Stone comes up with it. A minute remaining here in the first period. Hadrick crossing the blue line, working it in. That's poked off of his stick. A 2-for-1 hit there by Landon Lotzer in the corner. And Wyoming comes up the other way, and they'll get a full set of fresh legs out on the ice. Dominic Alexandrov at the top of the circles. He'll shoot one, blockered into the corner. Isaac Neffs Tied up along the boards with 30 seconds to go in the first period. Wyoming looking to get it out of their own end. Neff's trying to glove it down, unable to. Donnellan will pass it out. 15 seconds in this first period. Both these teams tied at 1. A shot from the point goes well wide. Picked up off of a bounce of the net. Up top. Shot. That one goes in the chest of Allen. Rebound. Left in front, but it comes all the way out. And time will expire here in this first period. A huge hit laid right at the buzzer by Mario Rodriguez. Sending Tanner Simpson to the ice.
What a check by Rodriguez right at the conclusion of that period. Almost surprised the penalty wasn't called, but I think that was a clean hit right into the boards. And I mean, Quinn, we've been talking all month. I mean, these boards are incredibly hard when you slam into them. I mean, Aiden Glockner, our graphics director for the club, definitely experienced that firsthand when he would skate in this rink. But I mean, you take a hit into those boards, it's not a pretty sight.
Yes, they are unforgiving boards. And an interesting first period here at the CU ice rink. Quinn Crack and Kieran Warger back in the booth. And CU able to get a little bit of that gas that we were talking about that they needed early. Able to score that first goal, really dictated pace for a long time, and then a really quick goal off the faceoff, unexpected by everyone, including Caleb Allen, who gets beat cleanly.
Yeah, I was in the middle of giving an analysis, and I was immediately shook after that last play. That was incredible. But I mean, Quinn, heading into the second period, I mean, we've talked about it all season long. Colorado really is that second period team. That's really when they kick it into high gear. I thought, based off the way they played here, I mean, it was solid to say the least. But I mean, I'm curious to see what this second period will bring for this Colorado team. And Wyoming had their defense tested kind of in the last 10 minutes or so of that period before they started turning the tides in favor of them and going back and forth between both of these squads. But I'd be curious to see what they do here in the second.
Certainly. Goaltender Jesse Easterwood playing a phenomenal first period. Lots of desperation stops. Looking really good in net so far. That one goal that beat him seemed a little like it could have been an easy save, but he's kept his team in this one so far. Buffs will definitely need to get something generated to beat him in the second period.
It's gonna be an interesting one, to say the least. But Quinn, I mean, the clouds are certainly shifting outside. The lighting in the rink is changing dramatically. But I mean, Colorado, they're really gonna need to stay on top of their game there. They cannot let their guard down. This is a big playoff game. The Cowboys coming in here after a night of playing, and I mean, Colorado's really got to use that to their advantage here as they are coming off over a week of rest.
Colorado will look to handle this hungry Wyoming team in the second period. That'll do it here in the first period. Quinn Craig and Kieran Warger in the booth. We'll see you guys in about 15 minutes.
J.R. Payne and the Colorado women's basketball team is living life on the bubble. The 2026 squad looks nothing like the 2025 team, with only 4 returners, including sophomore forward Tabitha Betson, who has taken a step forward.
Tabitha is one of the most versatile players on our team. I think she's leading us in three-point field goal percentage. She's just a really smart player. She's played at a high level back home in Australia and here in the U.S. And, you know, as a veteran of the team, being here last year, she understands our system and the things that we're looking for and the way that we do things. And she's been a really critical piece to our success this year.
I feel like being one of like the 3 kind of returners is like a kind of a big deal, you know, especially with all these new people trying to kind of like set the scene of what the coaches want. I think going home and then coming back kind of like took me a little step back in that, obviously, because I'm new back into the group again. But I think very quickly they were like, no, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you know what they're supposed to be doing, so kind of take on that role. Which is what I've been doing more recently.
Betson took some time away from Boulder to visit her family back in Melbourne, Australia, as she thought about the next steps in her life. But at its center, basketball never left.
I think it honestly refocused me in terms of like figuring out, okay, basketball is really like what I want and it's such a big part of myself.
And so it was like she never left Boulder. Despite that overhauled roster and the new faces, Betson and the Buffs never faltered.
You know, for a new player that's coming back in the middle of the season, you know, I didn't have any concerns, but I think she was a little bit worried just, you know, she's new and everyone's been here.
I was like, okay, like how is the team gonna feel about me going and coming back? But honestly, they were really welcoming.
Betson will be a key for the Buffs, should they pop their madness bubble as they make a run towards March.
They were a huge part of it. They definitely were like, she is a part of our team. Like she is really important to kind of like leadership and like on-court stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have her back, you know, for lots of different reasons. You know, for her leadership and composure and experience. And she's also just a really good player.
I was really close with like Jade last year and she's a huge part of our team, huge part of our offense, and just her like immediate like acceptance and valuing what I'm saying and playing with me. I think that also helps set the tone with like other people as well.
This is Jake Chow reporting for Go Buff Sports.
She's done a great job of, like I said, keeping us organized, communicating through, you know, problem solving on the floor.
Colorado Lacrosse kicks off his season this Monday with a big game against the number 2 ranked Northwestern Wildcats. The Buffs are 1-5 all time against the Wildcats with a 20-5 loss in their matchup last season. Northwestern fell just short of the national championship last season, falling to North Carolina 12-8 in the final. The Buffs will have their work cut out for them, and CU will head to Martin Stadium in Evanston, Illinois, an arena it has never won in, to battle the Wildcats at 6 p.m., streamed live on Big Ten Plus.
Colorado heads into this season predicted to place 3rd in the Big 12. Well, I'm disappeared for lacrosse and had 4 players earn Big 12 preseason honors. Jess Peluso won preseason co-defender of the year. Elena O took home preseason goalie of the year, while Maddie Shoup and Lily Assini made preseason All Big 12, along with Peluso and O. Buff fans will get their first chance to see those 4 and more in person on February 15th against the Cornell Bears at Prentup Field. CU won't play its first conference game against March 28th against San Diego State at home.
The Buff ski team nearly completed a remarkable comeback at the Nevada Invitational, rallying from a 61-point deficit to pull within 8 points of Utah by the end of the meet. Colorado surged during the giant slalom events behind a dominant showing where the CU men swept the podium for the first time in a decade to score a perfect 111 points. Nordic teams return to action next weekend at the Denver Invitational, now at the Frisco Nordic Center this Saturday.
And the opening ceremony has finally begun for the 2026 Milano Cortina Olympics. 8 Buffs are participating in this year's games, 2 of whom are current CU athletes. Hugo Hinkvist and Jacob Mach will compete in the Nordic skiing for Teams Australia and Germany, respectively. Estonia's Alvar Alev will join Hinkvist and Mach on the Nordic Trail. Canada's Cass Gray will join USA's Ryder Sarchit on the Alpine slopes. Sarchit was part of the Buffs' 2024 National Championship winning team and is the first male alpine skier from CU in nearly 30 years. USA's Stacey Gaskill will take part in snowboarding, Sway Irving in freeski, and Joanne Reed in biathlon.
All right, everybody, and now it is time for this week's trivia question. 8 Olympians are representing the Buffs at this year's Olympic Games in Milano Cortina. And our question for you this week, what year saw the most Buffs compete in the Winter Olympics? We'll have that answer for you later in the show.
Second period playoff action here from the CU Rec Center ice rink. Quinn Crack alongside Karen Warger. Nick Evans, our producer. Paxton Haynes on the camera. And the Buffs find themselves tied 1-1 with the Wyoming Cowboys. An interesting first period, to say the least. Buffs really dictated pace. Were able to dominate for most of the period, but come out of that first period tied at 1. Kieran, what do you think?
I mean, this was an interesting first period, to say the least, Quinn. I mean, Colorado not really known for putting that offensive pressure on those first period plays. But, I mean, tonight was a different story. I mean, they came out of the gates pretty hot, admittedly trying to feel out this Wyoming team. They weren't quite sure what to expect, especially since they were coming off of a big victory against CSU the previous night. But the second period, as I always say, this is where this team shines. They're going to come out of the locker rooms hot and ready and start the second period. This is usually where they score the most goals. And I mean, we're tied at 1. Caleb Allen only giving up 1 so far. That bizarre goal off the face-off. But nonetheless, here we are, and Colorado looking to respond as they always do heading into the second 20 minutes of play.
Both goaltenders giving up a lot of rebounds in that first period. Neither team being able to benefit off of them so far, with both of the goals coming off pretty simple wristers or quick shots off faceoffs. But definitely going to be a big part of this second period is the goaltending. Both teams have solid goaltenders in net. Caleb Allen, obviously 12-1 on the season. We've seen what Jesse and Easterwood can do now, and as both teams take to the ice here for this second period, they're going to play a key role to keeping their team in it.
Absolutely. And Wyoming's been incredibly solid as well this period so far. So I would expect them to continue with what they've been doing all day. I mean, especially off that bizarre goal. They've had so many great chances on Allen, just applying that pressure, whether it be coming down into their zone or just doing what Colorado was doing so much in the Wyoming's defensive zone. And that's what they're going to have to continue, just applying that same pressure, trying to stay into it despite not having as fresh of legs as Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, so far this Wyoming team not playing like a team that is, 3 spots beneath this Colorado program, but Wyoming really just wants this win, obviously. I mean, they fought hard yesterday against CSU. They came all the way down from Cheyenne, and now they're here in Boulder looking to beat this Colorado team, who are easily the favorites. I mean, obviously, as we talked about in the intro, undefeated so far on the season in the BMHC, and Wyoming wants this win bad, but Colorado is going to stay strong in the second period, and as you said, Karen, they have just been great in the second period all season long, and they'll look to bring that into this playoffs too.
Absolutely, Quinn. I mean, they've been very strong so far. It looks like Caleb Allen getting some warm-ups in alongside Will Hadrick. Wyoming kind of invading on their space a little bit before they'll head to their bench. This Colorado bench is hyped right now, Quinn. Holy cow. Very vocal. Wyoming can't really say the same as looks like Ian Bullard a little late out of the locker room, but he makes it in time.
Both teams return to their benches here to get this second period started. Convening, strategizing to get the lead here in the second period. Buff fans returning to their seats, getting ready.
Colorado women's hockey in the house as well. So Colorado's student section not exactly full just yet. Actually, there's a pretty decent crowd down there. It's about half full, give or take, but I'd be pretty sparse crowd for a playoff game for sure. It wasn't really publicized though, I will say. It was kind of a last minute thing.
Yeah, definitely not as posted as that senior night game was, which was a full crowd here, but Buff fans still getting loud here as the puck drops for this second period. Hadrick with speed. They'll try to dump it in. This one's flipped in. DePonio. He'll pick it up behind the net. Buffs coming out aggressive here, playing very physical in the Wyoming off defensive end. That one's dumped all the way down, back behind Easterwood. Skating with it the other way. Calvin Stone. Dumped all the way in. McGrath. Him and Lefkis getting into it. It's picked up by CU. Passing to center. Fanning on the one-time opportunity was Isaac Neffs. It'll come all the way down. And Polachek will wave off Allen. Waiting to get a pass off. He's pressured by Ballard. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Wyoming working it out. Pass into the center. That one's intercepted. But Wyoming regains control. Coming into the zone is Mario Rodriguez. Up top, that one tipped just wide of the net. Picked up now by Landon Lotzier. Update here on DU MSU. They are now tied at 1, similar to this game. In the second period of that one, winner of this game will go and face whoever beats DU or MSU. Alexandrov working into the zone. Shot that one into the mask. Puck is loose. It's cleared out along into the boards. Lefkis flips it down low. Wyoming trying to work. Alexandrov working it in. That shot save made by Jesse Easterwood. Dominic Alexandrov getting a lot of shots here through these first two periods. He's been great in the offensive end. Smithberger and his line coming out. Leading goal scorer Brick Fisher on the ice as Amos lines up. Face-off one over to Fisher. His shot blocked right in front as it comes up top to Perry. Over to Fisher. His shot fanning on it as Wyoming picks it up and takes it the other direction. Perry. Tipped in by Janine. This line scored CU's only goal as Messner works it in. Wyoming able to get the breakout going. Berg fires it off the wall. Loose puck picked up by Brick Fisher. 3-on-2 opportunity here for the Buffs. Fisher, he'll go for the sharp angle shot. Easily swallowed up by Jesse Easterwood.
There's the freshman Brick Fisher making his presence known. Once again, the athletic training staff heading to the Buffs bench. But Brick Fisher heading down that near side, gets a shot off, and it's easily swallowed up by Easterwood.
Looks like Calvin Stone's getting checked out on the bench by the medical staff here. As Bach lines up in the faceoff dot, he'll lose it to May. Elijah Sue picks up the loose puck. Picked up by Kroskus. He'll turn it over. Entering the zone is May with some speed. Bringing it all the way back behind the net. Battling along the boards. CU will come up with it. Hadrick. Over to Sue. He'll flip it up. Kroskus with some speed. Working his way in. That's poked right off his stick. He'll try to get a soft backhander on. Falco mishandles it at the blue line. Forced to settle it down. Bach unable to catch that pass. Coming in the other way now is Wyoming. Opportunity. Shot that one. A good read there by Caleb Allen. He makes 2 quick stops in the butterfly.
Kraska's getting into it a little bit with Daxton Thomas there on that last play. They're holding each other's sticks, and luckily they're separated in time. There's another broken stick handled by Bullard going to the bench. And looks like Chris Valco is going to be serving 2 minutes for Colorado.
Power play opportunity here for Wyoming on the slash by the Buffaloes. 2 minutes. Valco headed to the box. Donnellan heading into the faceoff here up against Simpson. Apologies, DePonio. DePonio loses that faceoff. Wyoming will maintain. Passing it along the perimeter. Back behind the net, Struber. Passes it down for Donnellan. Donnellan regains possession. Passes it top for Struber. His shot, that one's blocked in front by Clark. One-timer attempt. Easily blocked in front. Buffs laying their bodies out on the line. Amos. Passing it across. Stick in the lane by Clark. Able to keep the zone is Wyoming. Stick shattered in half of Polacek, and they're going to call the slash here. And we'll play 4-on-4.
Just like that, we're evened up, and Zane Polacek not pleased with his broken stick as Bullard's going to head to the box for Wyoming. So we'll be back to even strength. Looks like Donnellan's arguing with the official.
He is not happy about that. Continues to bark at the ref. He's headed to the head official now. He'll make his way to the bench now. 4-on-4, Donnellan pleading his case, but it will not change anything. Coach getting into it now with the referees. Temperatures flaring here in this second period as the playoff atmosphere catching up to these two teams.
That's how you know you're in playoff hockey. Both teams getting very chippy with one another. This is my first ACHA playoff game covering here for SBS, and it's been a fun one to say the least.
Absolutely an exciting game here so far as Wyoming brings it onto their way. It's Mario Rodriguez trying to make the move around Hadrick. He's unable to. Hadrick, he'll lose possession. Bringing it in now is Dumoulin. Fisher picks it up. Fisher likes the extra space. He has multiple 4-on-4 goals this season. He'll pass it over to Smithberger. Now Perry into the center. Smithberger. Buffs with some quick passing here. Hadrick. He'll fling it over to Perry. Back behind the net. Perry. Loose puck. Wyoming will pick it up right in front of their own goaltender. As it comes the other way, it's Venus. His shot stopped by Allen. He'll leave it. CU's bench waking up here with this 4-on-4 opportunity. 22 seconds to go on the penalty to Valco. Buffs will have about 40 seconds on the power play. 14:40 to go here in this second period. Perry, strong stick in the offensive zone, working it into Ponio's shot. Able to get a glove on it as Jesse Easterwood catches just enough of that puck to flip it up over the glass.
So the final 9 seconds of the 4-on-4. Buffs will go on a 40-second power play. Chance to capitalize as the draw comes in the Wyoming zone. Berg looking to take the draw. Correction. It'll be Isaac Neffs facing number 86. That's the Amos.
Alexandrov going over to the D. Buffs trying to work in here. Keep the offensive zone until they get the extra man out. Alexandrov passing it in, tipped right on. A good stop made by Easterwood. Neffs. He'll work it down low. Passing it in. Buffs now officially on the power play. This comes up top to Dominic Alexandrov. DePonio. Continuing to get the quick passes. Coming over to Alexandrov. His shot well wide. A pass in front. Chuck scores! Chaos in front, and the Buffs come up with a power play opportunity. Celebrating for the home fans is Corey DePonio. And the Buffs are up 2-1.
Talk about a comeback. Corey DePonio sneaking it past Easterwood, excuse me. As that net came off of the post, and they still counted it, as it looked like that puck may have crossed the goal line after the goal came off. Nonetheless, it's a 2-1 game. My goodness, Quinn.
Chaotic goal for Corey DePonio. A one-timer attempt that looked like it was wide by Alexandrov ended up right on his stick, and he carried it into the net. A great opportunity, and Corey DePonio puts his team back up by 1. Smithberger, he'll win the face-off puck. Buffs looking to continue that second period strength they've had all season. Flipped high up, and this one will go off a stanchion. And will follow the ground.
Another puck into the rafters. You can see a couple hanging off the edge of the beams there. But, I mean, I don't even want to know how many pucks are up there, Quinn.
Probably enough to start a whole team.
You're probably right, man.
Face-off won by Wyoming, but CU will regain possession. Flung in, will not go for an icing off of the deflection. Quickly entering his zone is Hadrick. Fisher, his shot scores! Brick Fisher scores a goal, and they're getting into it here. Daxton Thomas taking offense to the goal. And another quick goal here for the Buffs as Brick Fisher, the freshman, scores his first of this BMHC playoffs.
Been saying it, waiting for Brick Fisher to get his first ever playoff goal for this Colorado team. And you predicted he would score the first, Quinn, but nonetheless, I mean, he's on the board. I think that's a win-win for you.
Absolutely. Looks like these Buffs are getting under the skin of these Cowboys. Up by 2 now. The Cowboys lose their heads. This game may run away from them quickly. Trying to get his team back into this one is Ian Bullard. He'll fire one well wide. Quickly trying to get a shot off, unable to. DePonio looking for his second of the night. He'll pass it over to Levkis. Levkis moving it over. He'll take a loose puck shot. Score! David Levkis, a chaotic second period here. Buffs scored 3 goals in about 3 minutes. What an offensive showing. There's that second period team we know so well.
Just like that. Levkis on the board too. Nick's guess, my guess for the first goal, but that's a win-win for us. He's on the board. I mean, we'll take it, man. And there, like you said, Quinn, that second period team really shining through here. I say it every week. This is a very high-scoring second period already, and we're not even 7 minutes in.
Absolutely. Wyoming forced to take a timeout here as the Buffs completely dominating the headspace of this Cowboys team.
This is just nuts. The energy in this rink has completely shifted and just risen from I don't even know where. Holy cow.
Unbelievable. Buffs dictating pace, coming out with a quick second period. 3 goals in less than 7 minutes. What a performance here so far.
I'm speechless.
Speechless, absolutely. This Buffs team dominating just like we thought they would.
So 3:16 to go in period number 2. Colorado leads by 3, their largest of the night.
Wyoming head coach Bobby Chapman trying to get his team to really refocus here. Down by 3 in the second period, not ideal. On away ice, a long road trip to get here from Fort Collins and from Cheyenne. His team looking to not end their season here tonight. If this Wyoming team loses their heads, they will be even further behind in this game. Colorado, not a great power play team, but when they get that puck moving, they look fantastic. If Wyoming starts giving up bad penalties, this game will quickly slip even further away from them as the Buffs win this faceoff back to Polacek. Ralstad, he'll go all the way across the ice to Clark. Clark on the forecheck trying to come up with it. He gets pinched in the corner, puck comes all the way over the other side. Ralstad quickly flips it in. Dumped in, Ralstad will pick it up at the blue line. Pressured hardly. Mario Rodriguez not able to get it. Elijah Sue unable to handle that puck. Nearly a great chance on Jesse Esterwood, but he'll clear it out. Buffs keeping the offensive pressure they've had so far this period. Comes all the way down and will go for an icing as Sue.
Tides continuing to favor Colorado as it comes back to the Wyoming zone after that icing call. And this Wyoming line will have to stay out.
Alex Bach coming into the face-off dot. He'll line up against Bo Donnellan. Face-off won by Donnellan. Bach is the first one to it. Kicked up to the blue line. It's picked up by Gage Perry. His shot. That one goes right into the pads. Puck is still loose, however. Finally able to get a handle on it is Easterwood.
Easterwood in a bit of a dangerous situation after that long shot came down from Perry. Alex Bauk right in front of his kitchen, and that's just great stop by Easterwood, able to glove it up finally after discovering where the puck was.
Marius Krastis here up against Amos. He'll get thrown out of the faceoff. And Elijah Sue will come in to take it. Right-handed on right-handed here to the left of Easterwood. Flipped up by Wyoming. It'll come all the way down. Neutral zone play. Will quickly change hands to Kraskus. Blowing a tire, Kraskus fights all the way into the offensive zone of Wyoming. The puck will come down to Allen. He's forced to play it. Chase Messner at the red line. Headed down the ice with speed. It'll come back behind the net, easily played by Evan Heck. Wyoming struggling to get easy passes off here as the Buffs fill lanes. Elijah Sue, he'll dump one in. Back behind the net, it's Dominic Alexandrov. Going all around the offensive end, trying to find a pass into the center. He'll quickly pass it over to Hadrick, give it right back. Calvin Stone up top, trying to work it at the blue line. Buffs long offensive zone shift. Some tired Wyoming Cowboys out on the ice now. This puck will get tied up to the right of Easterwood. They get kicked up loose by the Buffs. Shot from the point. That one bounces over into the corner. Dominic Alexandrov's Buffs continuing the offensive onslaught. Calvin Stone, first one to the loose puck. Mishandled. Wyoming will finally gain possession. Strong forecheck. Not able to leave the zone yet. Finally able to get out as Heck will pass it into the center. Trying to get a handle on things is Amos. He'll head to the bench. Calvin Stone passes one over to the captain, Isaac Neffs. Neffs blows a tire, lands right into the boards. He hops right back up, however. Wyoming looking to generate some offense. Quick passes, shot, that one's blocked through traffic. Loose puck, Allen tracking it. It'll end up back into the corner. Wyoming with some offensive time here is Daxon Thomas. He'll lose possession. Fisher, a fantastic lead pass. Coming the other way is Janine. He's got one so far. Janine in sight, save made, rebound, score! Brick Fisher for his second of the night. Janine unable to finish on the breakaway. Fisher cleans up his rebound.
My goodness, what a play by Janine and Fisher. Janine coming down on that breakaway, can't get his own rebound, but Fisher is right there and he sneaks it past Easterwood. What a play for Colorado. It's a 5-1 game.
Brick Fisher with a great lead pass there for Josh Janine, and he does not quit on that play as he follows him. And Janine with a nice move in tight and a good stop by Jesse Easterwood, but he's left out hung to dry on that rebound as Fisher easily puts one into the empty net. 5-1 now Colorado with 9:23 to go. Barely past the halfway mark of the second period, and the Buffs have already scored 4 in this second period. Wyoming will look to settle things. The captain Bullard will dump it down. Back behind the net. Comes all the way to the left wing side. Wyoming upping their forecheck, trying to get back into this one. Interception. Can't connect into the center. Quick one-timer attempt, that one well above the crossbar. It'll come out the other way. Corey DePonio. He'll try to win the foot race. Not able to beat Ian Bullard to the puck. Big hit back behind the net as Bullard goes down. DePonio keeping the physicality we've seen all season from him. Gage Perry dumps it down. Puck coming out to Bullard. He'll go for offsides, and the play will be blown dead.
Yeah, Bullard came flying down the near side and just a little too jumpy on that last play. Bit of miscommunication between the Cowboys. But a fresh line will come out.
Amos lining up here against Smithberger. Face off one by Amos. It's flipped down and picked up back behind the net by Valco. He'll flip it ahead. It's touched up and come all the way down. Ethan Milliman. Amos, he'll pick it up at the blue line. Turned over again. Wyoming really struggling on the passes. Valco will go all the way down. He'll look for a call. He's not going to get it. Janine passing it over for Smithberger. Wyoming handles that loose puck. Working it in. Shot turned away by Allen with the stick into the corner. Heck flips it down low. Amos plays the body. CU coming up with it again. Fisher with some speed, looking for his third goal. Fisher working it in tight. Shot, backhand save made. A good stop by Jesse Easterwood in tight. And Wyoming will quickly come with it the other way. Berg passing it over to Heck. He'll lose possession. Fisher, another opportunity the other way. 3-on-1. Buffs will choose to go for the change as Sue ties it up behind the net. Sue into the center. Puck will go all the way to the far wall. Play blown dead here. So to go for a hand pass. Face off here coming to the left of Caleb Allen. Marius Kraskis. He'll line up in the face-off dot and win it. Slip down low. Puck is loose in front. That one trickles right through the crease. Venus able to maintain possession of the offensive end. Wyoming trying to get some pressure here with 6:45 to go in the second period. Sue. This line for Wyoming spending the most amount of offensive time here. Colorado quickly coming up the ice now. Trying to find a pass into the center. They'll choose to wrap it around. Hadrick. He'll go up top. Wyoming player down in the corner. Calvin Stone working it in. That shot blockered away. Puck is still loose. Holding his arm is Nate Venus. He is in a lot of pain here. Wyoming coming the other way. Venus trying to make a play. Elijah Sue now in the other way. Sue not able to cut it on the inside of Patrick McGrath. Some loud calls here from the CU bench as tensions continue to raise. Dominic Alexandrov. He'll pass it down low. Polacek. Wyoming coming the other way. 5:30 to go here in the period. Working it in the other way. Simpson shot turned away. Rebound. Save made. That shot may have gone wide. Buffs maintain possession. Dominic Alexandrov. Wyoming regaining possession, clearing it out of the zone. Buffs keeping the pressure up here as it's picked up by Clark. Clark shot. That one will go. And they'll choose to stop play here as Jesse Easterwood freezes up play.
What a series of events. Lots of back and forth. Wyoming trying to shift the tides after they are down by 4 goals in the final 5 minutes of this second period.
Colorado really not letting go of that throttle, though, as they have another offensive zone faceoff. Levkis. Puck will be kicked to the stick of Mario Rodriguez. Coming the other way, it's now dumped in by Colorado. Going along the boards. Clark is the first one there. Passing it to DePonio. DePonio with an off neutral zone steal. He'll work it down low. Wyoming seeing if they can gain some footing in this game. Working it in now is Bo Donnellan. CU with another strong stick. Coming the other way now is Brick Fisher looking for his third. Fisher inside. A big stop made by Jesse Easterwood. A fantastic glove stop, and Fisher denied for his third of the night. Other way it's Wyoming. Mario Rodriguez. Working it in on Allen. He'll go to the ice. Colorado will take it the other way. End-to-end action here to end this second period. 3:45 to go. Buffs still up by 4 with a score of 5-1 in this BMHC playoff game. A huge hit laid as Janine goes to the ice. Colorado fans furious. The other way it's Wyoming. Shot opportunity in front. Glove down by Allen.
Crowd wanted a penalty called on that last series. That was a huge hit into the boards. But nonetheless.
Looked like a clean check from up here.
Josh Janine convening with the officials. Well, he's going to head to the bench.
Amos and Kraskis will now line up against one another to the left of Allen. 3:30 to go in this second period. Tipped up and over the glass by Hadrick. We'll redo the face-off again. Redoing it to the left of Allen. Amos comes up with it. Dumped in deep by McGrath. Sue, strong stick on the ice. He'll get an interception. Alex Bach, the first one to it. Sue will pick it up now. His shot right into the chest of Jesse Easterwood. Update here for the MSU-DU game. MSU now leading 2-1. They'll look to see if they can make it to that BMHC finals game tomorrow at 1:45. CU trying to join them as Kroskis at the face-off dot up against Amos. They'll tie it up. Sue will come up with it. Chipped forward, but Wyoming picks up the loose puck. Amos got a little bit of space. CU quickly converging on him as Hadrick comes up with it. Back behind the net, big tie-up. Neither team able to get it. Finally picked up by Calvin Stone. Trying to spring Bach, he's unable to. Going down to the ice, Bach with a chance now. He'll pass it into the center. That shot doesn't make its way through. Amos. That puck is wired all the way down by Christian Struber. And Wyoming will go for pretty much a full team change here as Stone takes it the other direction. Stone going coast to coast. DU has tied it up here. Stone's shot. That one goes right into the chest. Tied at 2 with 10:20 to go in the third period. This game, CU leading 5-1, 2:24 to go. Dominic Alexandrov will come into the faceoff dot here up against Joe May. This one's fired all the way down. Quickly with some speed is Braxton Thomas. He puts a quick shot on Allen, easily turned away as he's in the RVH. Polacek. Hilfan on a pass out of the zone. Wyoming creating turnovers in the offensive zone. Thomas's shot. That one wide. This first line trying to get some opportunities for Wyoming. May can't get to that puck first. Coming the other way now is Simpson trying to beat him out. He's bodied to the ground. A big hit there by Patrick McGrath. Buffs regain possession. Isaac Neffs trying to find Simpson. It's poked away. Flung all the way down. Nate Venus will pick it up along the boards. His arm appears to be okay after that hit in the corner. Hunter Ralstad. Buffs still trying to find the middle of the zone. Wyoming getting physical in the corner here after that face-off.
Dom Alexandrov and Corey DePonio getting into it over there. Patrick McGrath.
Wyoming maybe trying to find some power play opportunities here. Looking to get back in it, down by 4. 1:18 to go here in the middle frame. Buffs, once again, absolutely dominated like they have all season long. This puck will come up top. Battling for it in the corner is Clark. Wyoming will come up with it. Flicked up by Ballard. A nice stretch pass will find its way to Mario Rodriguez. Harsh battles here along the corner in the final minute of play. Buffs seeing if they can get one more out of this period. Wyoming trying to get there first of the period. Buffs coming the other way. It's Clark. He'll have it poked off his stick. Poked into the corner now by by Jesse Easterwood. .30 seconds to go here in the second period. Tie up along the right wing corner. Still along the wall. Toponio gets checked hard as he goes to the ice. And a penalty coming here as tempers flaring here in the dying seconds of this second period. CU heading to the penalty kill. Not what you want to do when up in a playoff game. Shoving continues to happen here. Absolute chaos. Magnus Loham able to find a way to get under the skin of this Buffs team.
Ben Clark might be heading to the box. He's waiting beside it.
Mario Rodriguez going to the box for Wyoming.
Let's see if anybody else goes. Yep, it's going to be Lotzer's going to head to the bench. Donnellan competing with the officials, as is Captain Isaac Neffs.
Donnellan trying to get a call. He'll head to the box himself. Currently 2 Cowboys in the box and 1 Buff. We'll see how they sort this one out.
This is what happened. You saw Quinn 2 weeks ago when Colorado was home. There was tons of physicality against SMU, and they're not backing down. This is playoff hockey after all, but I mean, this is quite an escalation.
Hadrick joining into the box with Clark. My apologies, no, he's not actually. He's just out on the ice. Looks like the Buffs may get a power play out of this opportunity. Fans waiting to see what the ref's decision is here. Wyoming not happy with these calls.
Admittedly so. 19.3 remaining here in period number 2, and the Cowboys are down by 4. So if these calls stand, Colorado will start the third period of action on the power play.
If you're Wyoming head coach Bobby Chapman, you're probably not too happy with your players. Looked like they were maybe going to come out of that with a power play. Now they're down on the kill, not able to keep their heads. Talking to the ref is Ian Bullard. 19 seconds to go here in this period, as you said. And Colorado with a nice power play opportunity. Smithberger. He'll face off against May. Face off won by Smithberger up top to Hadrick. At the blue line, Bluffs looking to see if they can score with the last 15 seconds of this period. Hadrick. Bringing it over to Fisher. That jumps over his stick. He regains possession and dances at the blue line. His shot doesn't make his way through traffic. Trying to find a shot, unable to. Hadrick fans on one, and time will expire here in the second period. And what a period it was for this Colorado Buffaloes team, Kieran.
My goodness, I was blown away by what I saw on the ice just now. Absolutely incredible performance by Colorado. That second period team coming through, as they always do. Speechless.
Exactly as we predicted, the second period team really showing up, making this tired Wyoming team work for it. And I mean, we talked about him in the intro, leading goal scorer in the regular season, leading point scorer in the regular season. Brick Fisher has 2 goals, multiple chances in that period. Wyoming appears to be rather upset here with the refs as they're trying to sort out those penalties in the dying seconds of the period, getting a little heated with the referees, it appears.
They have every right to be. I mean, this is a tough situation to be in. Obviously, Colorado coming into this, as we've said, with lots more energy, lots more enthusiasm, admittedly so. This Wyoming team played CSU last night, dominating victory for them, but I think perhaps the fact that they're tired is really translating to their maybe lack of discipline.
Let's take you now to Paxton Haynes.
All right, cool. And then those cameras up there.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, here with Connor Smithberg. Connor, huge period for you guys. What went so well that led to that flood of goals?
Yeah, I mean, we knew we were the better team from them, or better team that game. They know that too, so our coach just told us to kind of keep doing what we were doing, keep working the same way, and the chances will come. And then I think we scored about 3 goals in 4 minutes there. So, yeah, we just worked hard and played our game. That's all it really took.
Looks like things are getting heated in that period. Temperatures are definitely high. Is that just the playoff atmosphere coming through?
Yeah, we don't really like Wyoming. They're pretty cheap from time to time, but playoffs, emotions are running high, so that's bound to happen. We just got to keep our cool in this next period and get ready for next game.
What's it going to take for you guys to finish something out and move on?
We just got to play one more strong period, get the pucks deep, and just play our systems. We've been practicing for it all year, so we just got to do 20 more minutes of that, and then we'll play for a championship tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Connor.
Thank you. You're getting him wet, too.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
A confident Connor Smithberger from the ice there, absolutely calling out this Wyoming team, calling them cheap and saying they're ready to move on to the next game. Up by 4, he deserves to be a little bit confident there, Kieran.
I mean, I'll give it to him. They put on a dominant second period. It's a theme. It's been a theme this season for Colorado, and I'll give it to them. It's just incredible, man, seeing what they did out there. 4 incredible goals, many of them back-to-back. They started to slip in the last 5 minutes or so, Wyoming trying to shift the tides back into their favor, and the final 20 seconds of that game became incredibly chippy, and it resulted in Wyoming very upset as they're going to start on shorthanded, rather, heading into this third period.
We welcome you back into the booth, and I think this game could get a little maybe out of hand based on how those final minute ended. Lots of penalties going around, lots of hitting after the whistle, extracurriculars. Not stuff you want to see from these guys, but Wyoming trying to get back into it, maybe looking for some power play opportunities, but
it's all going to be about Colorado just controlling their discipline. I mean, Smithberger, we heard in that interview, incredibly confident with himself and his team. He has every right to be, but he can't let that translate into his chippiness on the ice and drawing unnecessary penalties. They've got to keep their discipline about them heading into the final 20 minutes.
Colorado looking to punch their ticket into the BMHC final tomorrow. We'll see you for the third period.
National championship winning team and is the first male alpine skier from CU in nearly 30 years. USA's Stacy Gaskill will take part in snowboarding, Sway Irving in freeski, and Joanne Reed in biathlon.
All right, everybody, and now it is time for this week's trivia question. 8 Olympians are representing the Buffs at this year's Olympic Games in Milano Cortina. And our question for you this week, what year saw the most Buffs compete in the Winter Olympics? We'll have that answer for you later in the show.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your Buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Skull Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
The women's golf squad did not have a great start to their spring season, placing 10th out of 12 teams at the Collegiate Invitational at Guadalajara, Mexico. Ellen O'Shaughnessy finished the tournament 3 over and tied for 15th place. She was the highest placing Buff of the tournament and recorded the only round under par for the team. All other members of the Colorado quintet finished 11 over or worse, plummeting the total score to 39 over on the weekend. The Buffs traveled to Tucson, Arizona to compete in the Thunderbird Intercollegiate starting on Monday.
Buffs track and field is back in action today, and this time it's right here at home. The annual Colorado Classic is taking place in Boulder at the Ford Practice Facility, one of the Buffs' key indoor home meets of the season. Field events got underway at noon today, while the track athletes will look to build on their strong starts to the season. Tomorrow. The men's distance squad currently holds the top spot in the NCAA Indoor Mile. Fans can find out if it can keep that momentum going tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the Ford Practice Facility.
Last weekend, the tennis team defeated Miami of Ohio 6-1 to improve to 3-0 on the season. However, the team then traveled to Denver on Sunday, where they suffered their first loss 4-2 against the Pios. CU is still undefeated in doubles play, but its efforts in singles matchups fell just short of DU's. Tennis has this weekend to rest before traveling to Minneapolis to take on 3 different opponents next weekend.
CU women's hockey is in a bit of a tough stretch late in the regular season. The Buffs lost both games last weekend to the Utah Utes, both by a score of 2-1. But they have a chance to turn it around and get revenge on the Utes at home this weekend. The Buffs play tonight at 5 on Hockey Fights Cancer Night and Saturday morning on Youth Hockey Day. Those games will be streamed live on ScoBuff Sports, so stay tuned.
The regular season may be finished for men's D2 hockey, but the playoffs are just getting started. This Saturday at 3, Colorado will face off against either the University of Wyoming or Colorado State. The Cowboys and Rams will play against each other on Friday night at 8 p.m. in Fort Collins, the winner earning the 4th spot in the Big Mountain Hockey Conference Tournament to play against the first-time conference championship Buffs. Saturday's game will be at the CU Rec Ice Rink and streamed live right here on ScoBuff Sports on YouTube.
Men's D1 hockey is still in the regular season and plays its penultimate home series this weekend against San Diego State. The Buffs and Aztecs sit at the bottom of the Western Collegiate Hockey League standings, with CU in 10th and SDSU in 11th. Colorado has lost 4 in a row and is 2-10 and 2-8 in his last 10 games, but it wasn't all bad as CU was able to break its New Year scoreless streak in its 2-game series against Missouri State. Puck drop against the Aztecs is at 8 p.m. on Friday and 7 on Saturday, both games at the Rec and right here on Scoba Sports.
We're just a few days away from Super Bowl 60, the big game in Santa Clara. Sunday's game will feature one former Colorado Buffalo on the NFL's biggest stage. Brady Russell, class of 2023, is the current fullback and a backup tight end for the Seattle Seahawks. He also serves as the special teams captain of the franchise. Russell is the first alum to represent the program since Isaiah Oliver in Super Bowl 58. Despite several alumni to play in the past few years, no former Buff has been on a championship-winning roster since Nate Soldier with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 53. Christian Gonzalez, New England's top cornerback, also spent 2 seasons with the Buffaloes before transferring to Oregon, where he became a future first-round draft pick.
Hey Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 5 plays in Colorado sports. A bit of a lull in the action again this weekend, but nonetheless, we're still got some stuff to cover, so let's dive right in. Going to number 5, we go to women's hoops against West Virginia. Desiree Woot off the fast break. She'll get that open layup right over the defender for the Mountaineers. Let's get a slow-mo look at that going up that right side, laying it up. Boom, ladies and gentlemen, off that fast break. What a play. The Buffs only down by 3. Let's go to men's hoops now for number 4, this time against the Baylor Bears. Tough game here, but it's stolen by Josiah Sanders, and he's going to send it over to Jalen Holland, who launches for 3, and he gets it from downtown, right between the eyes. That was a tough game against Baylor, though, I will admit. Let's go to women's hockey now for number 3. It's picked up by Sophie O'Brien going up that far side of the rink. Takes a shot. Rebound in by Fischelli. She tips it in right out in front. What a play. And that game is tied at 1. Tough series, though. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Pro Bowl. Look, it's Shedeur Sanders and Garrett Bowles. You can't keep him out of the end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, Bowles' second touchdown of the game for the AFC. And just look at this. Sanders, tremendous accuracy, and Bowles making that tremendous catch. I don't think I've ever seen a lineman score a touchdown, but it's the Pro Bowl. Anything can happen. Now for number 1 now, let's go over to Isaiah Johnson. And the Dak attack! A monster slam for Bangot Dak against the TCU Horned Frogs right here in Boulder. Huge win for Colorado. That's going to do it for this week here on Scoba Sports Play of the Week. I'm Kieran Walker, wishing you a wonderful weekend.
Here we see Xavier McNevitz working on his reader for the live show. If we didn't have these readers done by Thursday night, chances are we would not be airing this show right now. Be like Xavier. Get your readers done. And don't forget to click save so that you don't lose any of your hard-earned work.
Well, I don't know if you have any plans Sunday morning at 3:30 a.m., but if you do, you're going to need to cancel them because this is rapid fire. Starting off tomorrow, Saturday, we got the Colorado Classic indoor track and field event. It's going all day long. You're not going to want to miss any of the track or the field. After that, we're going to have men's basketball taking on Arizona State Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Great way to just enjoy your Saturday night. Fun fact, they'll have $3 beers and snacks before the game. Then, not at 1 p.m., but at 3:30 a.m., like I mentioned, we have got the downhill race at the Olympics where, I won't say who, but there is a CU alumni racing. Also, couldn't include it here, but it's a double header. Then at 4:30, there's like the 10K in Nordic, also featuring some CU student athletes. But last but not least, how are you going to pregame the Super Bowl? Obviously, it's Colorado women basketball taking on Texas Christian University. Come on, the Horned Frogs, also $3 beers before the game. It'll be a hoot. Back to you in the studio. That's rapid fire.
And now it's time for your answer to this week's trivia question. As a reminder, we asked you, what year saw the most Buffs compete in a Winter Olympics? The answer is, drumroll please, 1972, which saw 13 Buffaloes competing.
Rather than the tweet of the week, we're shouting out some SCO Buffers who officially made our club award-winning. Roberto Patrick Jarrah, our longtime photo director, won 3rd place of the 2026 Rushies Awards for this gorgeous snap of route.
Time for your Answer to this week's trivia question. As a reminder, we asked you, what year saw the most Buffs compete in a Winter Olympics? The answer is, drumroll please, 1972, which saw 13 Buffaloes competing.
Rather than the tweet of the week, we're shouting out some SCO Buffers who officially made our club award-winning. Roberto Patrick Gera, our longtime photo director, won third place of the 2026 Rushies Awards for this gorgeous snap of Ralphie. And just this afternoon, our business reporter and director of morale, Lincoln Roach, won the Hearst Sports Writing Competition for his in-depth coverage of anti-Mormon behavior from CU students at September's BYU football game. Congrats, Berto and Lincoln. And that's all for this week's live show. Hope you guys have a lovely weekend.
You know, Harrison, I hope you're still feeling all the love that I have for you, as I expressed earlier in the show.
The feeling is mutual.
Well, I'm really so glad to hear that. For all of us here at SCO Buffs Sports, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And remember, you heard it here first.
Final period of action here at the CU Rec Center ice rink for this men's D2 team in this BMHC playoff game. And what a second period this Buffs team had. 4 goals to make it a 5-1 lead over the University of Wyoming Cowboys, and chaos happening at the end of that second period. Buffs will be on the power play here to start. Kieran, what are you expecting from this third?
I'm expecting Colorado to come out with same energy that they had in that second period. I mean, doing what they typically do, but this right now is the time to shine, ladies and gentlemen. Heading into the final 20 minutes of play, you're up by 4. You cannot let your guard down. That's going to be key heading into the final 20 minutes.
Absolutely. Wyoming will be looking to get on the power play. Down by 4. They're going to need some special teams, hopefully, to get back in this one. Colorado, a minute 40 to start this period on the power play. And Wyoming looking a little undisciplined at the end of that second period. Every game for G2 normally has a little bit of chaos in it so far. So we'll see how this third period goes as the Buffs congregate at their bench.
And both teams will break, actually. The Buffs will. And it's like, it was Owen Clark heading into the box. Oh, he was in there. Correction, folks. Now, Wyoming will break. Will still be on the man advantage. Colorado will be on for another minute and 41 seconds, folks.
Plenty of time to get a power play goal and extend that lead to 5 as we get ready to go for this third period. Final game here.
Captain Isaac Neff's heading in for the draw.
And he'll win that faceoff back. Rick Fisher will go to Dominic Alexandrov. Four forwards on the ice here for this Buffs team. Entering the zone is Fisher. He's got 2 goals tonight. He'll bring it back behind the net. Quick pass to Alexandrov. They'll go D to D. Fisher, quickly to Stone. Trying to work their way into the middle. Buffs struggling to get in. Alexandrov on the perimeter. He'll walk in at the dot. Go back behind the net again. Fisher's one-timer. He'll break the stick. Opportunity the other way now for the Cowboys. 2-on-1. Slowing it down to Amos. Not able to get going. A good defensive play by Dominic Alexandrov. Nearly a slip up there for the Buffs here to start this period, but They'll continue going in the offensive zone. Alexandrov. His shot. Stopped by Easterwood. Deponio. Fisher slings it over for Stone. Stone back. One-timer attempt by Alexandrov. That one over the bar. Stone passing it to Neffs. 16 seconds to go here on the power play opportunity for the Buffs to start this third. Circling up top is Deponio. Buffs trying to find a one-timer. It'll be dumped out, but not out. Alexandrov keeping the blue line. Goes back in behind the net. It's Deponio. Deponio going over to Alexandrov. Even strength here. He'll pass it into the center. Tipped well wide. Frustrated with himself is Elijah Stu as he slams the stick to the ground. 5-on-5 action now as the Buffs try to work it back in. Deponio catches it with one hand. Buffs will get a full change. He'll wait and pass it up for Messner. His shot blocked. Perry. Buffs spending the majority of this early third period in the offensive zone. Wyoming trying to get things going. This will deflect off and up into the netting. Both players from the coincidental penalties let out of the box now as the Buffs with another offensive zone face-off here to the left of Easterwood. Lefkis wins the draw. Into the center, Deponio, a good shot, but it's turned away with the right pad of Easterwood. Clark, his shot from the blue line never makes its way to the net. Bo Donnellan. Trying to get it out. Buffs keeping a high forecheck even though they're up by 4. This one floats all the way down into the Buffs' defensive zone. Will not go for an icing as Ralstad has forced to pick it up. 3 minutes into this third period, Deponio into the slot, trying to pass it over to Clark. Can't connect. Ralstad's shot, passing it down low for Lefkis. Tries to go short side, but Jesse Easterwood seals up that post.
A play by Lefkis getting right up into cage of Easterwood. He's going to head to the bench now.
Smithberger in the faceoff dot up against Amos. Both tied up, quick shot. Janine trying to get one off, goes well wide to the right post. Karam's all the way down, back behind the net. Perry's forced to pick it up. Perry trying to go coast to coast. He'll bring it all the way back behind the net, trying to wrap around. Able to stop it is Easterwood. Flipped up. Buffs still dominating the offensive end. Up top, this one mishandled by Fisher and comes all the way down. Final score from that DU-MSU game. DU Pioneers taking it 3-2. They will face off against the winner of this game, which currently would be Colorado, tomorrow at the Ice Promenade in Westminster at 1:45 as Messner works it in, trying to find Smithberger, but it'll escape the zone. Smithberger passing it over to Messner. Messner tries to flip it all the way into the corner, but it's gloved down by Easterwood. A good start to this third period by this Buffs team. Ever since that power play ended, still looks like they're on it. Keeping the offensive end as Alex Bach faces off. Comes up top. Shot from the point, that one misses wide. Hadrick gets dispossessed, it'll come the other way. Skating with it is Sincox. He'll stick handle and lose possession. Hadrick comes up with it again. Sioux gets absolutely flattened, and that'll be a penalty. Wrestling each other. Headed to the box will be Carson Kaminsky. A dirty check right to the numbers of Elijah Sioux.
Yeah, Sioux went down, and once again, Colorado will go on the man advantage. Yeah, Wyoming, I've said it, Quinn. I think the fact that they're tired is starting to get to them, and they're losing a bit of that discipline. Spending quite a few penalty minutes in the box the past 10 minutes or so of play.
Not the way the Cowboys are going to get back into this one, Kieran, as Buffs head to another power play. Levkis, he'll win that faceoff up top to Hadrick. His pass well wide, and it goes all the way down. Flipped across, Levkis. Wyoming playing strong defense at the blue line. Smithberger trying to get this power play started. He'll take it in himself. Stopping at the end of the faceoff dots. He'll pass it up quickly to Hadrick. They'll go D to D. Hadrick quickly to Levkis. Smithberger back behind the net. He'll try and saucer it to Levkis. Working in tight as Smithberger. Wyoming keeping their sticks on the ice as this one is fired down to the other end of the ice by Bo Donnellan. Allen comes out to play it. 54 seconds to go here to the penalty of Carson Kaminsky. Quickly with speed is Fisser. His shot turned away by Jesse Easterwood. Alexandrov takes one off the thigh to keep it in the zone. Smithberger unable to glove it down. And Buffs will be forced to tag up. 30 seconds remaining on this power play opportunity. Colorado looking to enter the zone. Calvin Stone stops at the faceoff dots. Sauced over well too high for Fisher. Stone picks it up again. Trying to find a shooting lane. He'll pass it over to Fisher. His shot rings off the post and up into the netting, trying to go short side.
Once again, loving the playlist here in the rink.
Happy that they've returned for another fantastic Ox performance. Alexandrov's shot, a riser, goes into the blocker of Easterwood. Krask is facing off here against Daxton Thomas. Face off shot from Bach. Messner will pick it up back behind the net. Even strength opportunity now as we play 5-on-5. Alex Bach passes it over to Perry. Perry trying to shoot it through traffic. It'll be swallowed up by Easterwood. .12:54 to go here in this third period. Buffs with 2 power play opportunities, unable to capitalize on them, but still find themselves up by 4. Face-off taken by Wyoming. Coming the other way now is Braxton Thomas. Braxton Thomas in tight. Backhander. That one goes well wide of the net. First one to it is Thomas. He'll pass it down low for May. The other Thomas will pick it up, Daxton. Daxton Thomas. We'll use it for May. This first line for Wyoming has spent the most amount of time in the offensive zone of all the 4 lines for this Cowboys team. They'll choose to dump it in, and they'll all 3 head to the bench. Dumped in by team president Evan Heck. Perry trying to find Buck, unable to. Fired in by Wyoming. Perry will be the first one to it. Quick turnaround. Stop the forecheck there by Ian Bullard. Clark can't connect with Levkis. Coming out to play it was Easterwood. Battle for it along the boards. Cowboys will come up with it and ring it around. Bounce off the boards, Levkis. Has that come off of his stick. Flipped up, taken by Polacek. Colorado playing a little passive here, trying to make sure that they hold on to this lead. Ian Bullard will be whistled down for offsides. We'll take you now to Paxton Haynes, who's standing by ringside.
Colorado State Rams.
We'll hear from Paxton at the next whistle as Ralstad picks that up after the CU face-off win. Wyoming flipping it out of their own end. It's gloved down by Janine. Skating in with it is Polacek. Quickly back to Fisher. Still looking for that third goal, but it'll be deflected off of the stick of Landon Lotzer. And we'll go to Paxton.
Guys, the men's D1 team is just starting to roll in here. Vibes are high. If a little somber, is their senior night tonight as they face off against San Diego State. They got a big emphatic win over the Aztecs last night, looking to make it 2 in a row tonight. And then after that, it is their final series of the season against the Colorado State Rams. Guys?
D1 coming up next after this game. Face-off won by Wyoming in their own zone, trying to get it out. Campbell looking to find a teammate. It'll be chopped up into the Wyoming bench. A little over 10 minutes to go in this third period, and the Buffaloes keep their 4-goal lead.
I think Connor Smithberger, among others, is ready to walk away from this game and move on to the next round. They've held this 4-goal lead throughout the entirety of this period. And I mean, Smithberger, we heard, he's very confident and just ready to move on to the next game.
Absolutely, Buffs very confident, but cannot let Wyoming get back into this one as Campbell picks it up. Quick pass. That one's bounced off of the boards by Jaden Mobayed. Tipped into the zone, Isaac Neffs. He gets tripped up, and Colorado will head to another power play opportunity. Not happy with the calls, Wyoming, as Patrick McGrath will be headed to the box for tripping.
Isaac Neffs took a massive hit as he'll head to the bench.
Buffs 0 for 2 on the power play so far this period. They'll get a third chance with 9:55 to go and extend their lead to 5 goals. DePonio. He'll try on the second effort to win the faceoff. It'll go right to Ian Bollard, who will flip it out. Skating with it is Will Hadrick. He'll leave it back for Fisher. He'll drop it all the way back to DePonio. Plenty of speed for Corey DePonio. He gave the Buffs their lead that they've held on to for the last 30 or so minutes as Hadrick at the blue line. Passing it down low. Fisher's shot. That one's gloved quickly by Jesse Easterwood. Smithberger will line up here against Daxton Thomas, who will win the faceoff back. Janine. Fisher can't connect with Hadrick. They'll go back and forth between each other. A strong stick on the ground there by Ian Bullard, breaking up the passing lanes. DePonio trying to sling one to Fisher. Fisher trying to find a one-timer, swatted out of midair, and is cleared out of the zone by Joe May. Fisher will wave off Allen and pick up the puck himself behind his own net. Pressured heavily by Wyoming. 40 seconds remaining on this power play opportunity. Dominic Alexandrov working it in. He'll stop up at the top of the circles. One-timer attempt for Brick Fisher. Turned away by Jesse Easterwood off the right pad. Fisher, his pass goes out of the zone, and the Buffs are forced to exit. 14 seconds on this power play opportunity until Patrick McGrath rejoins this Wyoming Cowboys. Fisher brings it up to Alexandrov. Exiting the zone, exiting the box is McGrath. Quickly hopping off the bench, Wyoming back to even strength. 7:45 to go here in this third period. Colorado looking to punch its ticket to the BMHC Conference Final. This shot, Karam's off of the boards. Bach unable to handle it. Elijah Sue passes it in. Looks like a dump down. Caleb Allen playing it behind the net. Some confusion. Colorado still able to break it out. Polacek trying to gain some speed. Some extra lighting coming on here at the CU Rec Center ice rink as a pass goes right through the crease. Polacek up top for Kroskis. Mishandled by Sue. Sue picking it up again, trying to find a man in the crease. There's no one home. Gage Perry, he'll choose to go for the dump and go for a change. Sue at the blue line. Hounded, getting hit in the hands by Mario Rodriguez. Ralstad firing one in. Falco slipping it in. It'll be picked up and taken back behind the net now by Landon Lotzer. Wyoming stuck in a cycle as they're not able to break it out. And Simpson tries to get a turnover. He'll lose possession. .5:57 to go here in this third period. Isaac Neffs working it in on his own. Trying to get a shot off. That one's turned away. Rebound. Does not come to any Buff as Wyoming tries to get out of the zone, unable to. Valco's shot turned off on the left pad by Easterwood. This puck flips up into the bench. Bit of a calmer third period, back half especially. Not a lot of penalties flying here in the third period like you and I thought.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Colorado had one power play opportunity. They did not capitalize on that. But nonetheless, I mean, they're still well within reach of this third round rather.
Certainly is Brick Fisher. 2 goals tonight. He'll pass it over to Chase Messner. Messner will fling it in. Perry at the blue line. He'll choose to fire it in. It caroms off of a pad and goes all the way out. Messner. High forecheck here from Wyoming, trying to get a goal here in this last 5 minutes. Allen will cover it up for a face-off. Colorado outshooting Wyoming 30-12 here through 3 periods of action. Wyoming just not generating nearly enough on the offensive end.
That's coming back to bite them after they played against CSU last night, coming down here to Boulder, playing back-to-back games. Colorado well rested, dominating here at home.
Shot from the point, gloved down by Allen, easily off the stick of Evan Heck. And it looks like Wyoming still trying to get back into this one, down by 4. Comes up top again to Heck. Heck shot blocked in front by Bach. Colorado trying to escape the zone. It'll be turned over, rimmed in by Braxton Thomas. Wyoming turning up the pressure here a little bit in the final 5 minutes. Finally able to generate some offensive chances. That pass, errant, and will not go. Coming the other way now is Elijah Sue. 3-on-2 for the Buffaloes. Elijah Sue gets absolutely flattened. Colorado bench on happy opportunity. Save made. That puck lays in the crease for a moment. What a stop by Jesse Easterwood as he comes post to post to make a fantastic stop.
Icing coming against the Cowboys. They'll bring it back to their zone as it looks like Easterwood's net came off the peg. But nonetheless, he was able to replace it, but whistle was still blown because of the icing.
That puck was laying in the blue paint for a minute after the shot attempt, but no Buff was home to hammer it back, and Buff still up by 4. Dominic Alexandrov. He gets tied up on the faceoff. Balco's forced to kick it down low. Neffs unable to keep it in at the blue line. Dominic Alexandrov playing without a stick. Puck will kick back up to Messner. Shot from Balco doesn't make its way through traffic. Messner. Down low, gives it to Alexandrov. Tie up along the corner, it'll be kicked up. Wyoming struggling to get out of their own end. Neffs. He'll kick it up top to Valco. D Messner. His shot right into the pads of Jesse Easterwood. Some extracurriculars there right in front of Easterwood as Alexandrov's getting into it with Bo Donnellan.
Dom Alexandrov starting to get a little chippy. He's been kind of chippy all game, Quinn. I mean, he's defending his teammates, doing what he can. He's standing on his business.
3:15 to go here in the third period. Wyoming dumps it all the way down. We'll go for an icing.
Immediate icing for the Cowboys. Still have to stay out.
An already tired group of Cowboys forced to stay out even longer. Amos facing off here against Alex Bach. Bach kicking it back up top to Krauskis. Little quick passing here. Levkis into the center. That one kicks just wide. Off of a bounce in the crease. Berg. Amos. Puck is in his skates. He can't find it as Sue picks it up. Pass into the front for Alex Bach. His shot stopped. Another big save by Jesse Easterwood, who has been great on the breakaway so far tonight. And it's taken the other way by McGrath. Berg. His shot into the CU logo of Allen. And Sue picks up the rebound. Krauskis. He's unable to pick up the puck. He's brought down to the ice. No call coming here as the bench is upset. Bo Donnellan. Puck will be blown dead. Face off to the left to Caleb Allen. Smithberger lining up here against Donnellan. Shot right off the face-off this time. Allen prepared for it as Ian Bullard ripped one real quick. They'll redo it to the left of Allen again. Janine will fire one off the glass. Trying to get a stick on it was Bo Donnellan. Ralstad. Passing it down low. Valco nearly mishandles it. Able to regain the zone is Wyoming. Comes up top. Ethan Milliman will pass it down. Battle along the boards. Wyoming comes up with it. Back behind the net is Bullard. 1:30 to go in this third period. His shot wide. Ethan Milliman unable to connect with the net. Coming the other way now. Dumped all the way down and will go for an icing on the Buffs.
Fisher with some speed wrapping around. Looked like he wasn't pleased with that call. He'll have to stay out.
Janine still shouting at the ref. Smithberger, he'll face off here against Bo Donnellan. Dying minutes of the period. Wyoming pretty much all but out of this one. As it comes all the way down. Will not go for another icing. Trying to get one more. Fisher passing it into the crease. He gets hit hard in the corner. Smithberger poking it down low. Berg loses possession. 52 seconds remaining here in this playoff game in the CU ice rink. Berg. He'll work it in. Perry. Krauskas passing it back down low. CU. Some quick passes here, trying to kill out the clock. 20 seconds to go, up by 4. What a performance by the Colorado Buffaloes. Taking advantage of a tired Wyoming team and really bringing it to them in that second period like they've done all season, Kieran.
That second period was incredible. One of the best periods I've ever seen played by this D2 team. Just dominating on both sides of the ice, offense and defense. The limited times they had to rely on their defense, that is. And Wyoming, they tried to test Colorado's defense early, but try to tire them out. But, I mean, just having that extra week of rest really helped Colorado here.
Bo Donnellan getting into it with these Colorado Buffaloes. Buffaloes waving him goodbye as they line up for the handshake. At the end of the day, best tradition in all of sports, end of a playoff game, they will always shake hands. And not a bad effort by Wyoming. I mean, you're forced to play a game yesterday, driving all the way down from Cheyenne to Fort Collins. Then you play the next day in Boulder. Good hour drive, a little bit longer than that. And a tough setup for these Wyoming Cowboys, and CU really brought it to them.
Absolutely. Looked like Berg was heading off the ice there, trying to avoid the handshake. He's not pleased with the physicality today. And I mean, Connor Smithberger said during second intermission, I mean, these teams have a history of, and it's not the friendliest history for sure. So.
Absolutely. Now they will look to face off against the Denver Pioneers tomorrow at the Promenade Ice Center at 1:45, trying to win their first ever BMHC tournament. They won the regular season.
Buffs will convene to salute their home crowd, who has largely cleared out at this point, Gwen. I think everybody's ready for the D1 match here coming up.
Absolutely. That game starting at 7 p.m. Streamed live right here on ScoBuff Sports. Karen Warner will stay on the mic. I'll be headed probably to the camera as Aiden Glockner joins us for color. D1 winning their first game in a while as CU D2 salutes the home crowd.
It's the final time that the Buffs will play in this rink this season. They'll be playing at the Promenade tomorrow.
After that, they will be headed to Salt Lake City, Utah to play in the West ACHA Regionals. Unsure who their opponent is right now, but I mean, this is a team that has played very well all season. Definitely deserve to be first in the BMHC. We'll see how they do tomorrow, whether or not they're able to take home this tournament trophy, but they absolutely can go far in the ACHA. Maybe make it past the regionals, and we'll see just how far this team can go.
It's going to be absolutely exciting. I mean, this team has been so much fun to cover all season long, and I know, Quinn, this is like really the team that you came close to covering this year as you joined the SBS crew. It's been an honor having you on here, man, and you've killed it when you've been on the mic, man.
It has been an honor to be play-by-play here. A lot of great games here. A little bit of a chaotic Big Mountain Classic a couple weekends ago, and then the series against SMU. It has just been a blast covering this team, and I hope that they make it really far. You know, I think that they definitely have the components to make a run to this ACHA playoffs.
Isaac Neff's senior captain taking in his home ice one last time.
Some players taking photos with Wyoming. Players likely played some sort of junior team with them.
Jesse Easterwood and Gage Perry. Taking photos with their parents, or their folks, what have you. That's a camaraderie you like to see. And I've said it before, Quinn. I think this entire game was exciting, but that second period was really what stood out to me. I mean, the second period, that stuck up for the entire game.
Definitely. I mean, it seems unreal that the second period is always as good as it is for the Buffs. It seems like what about the second period is something that they're able to really show up in and show out, but unsure what it is. Taking some pictures here on the ice as the seniors come out for one final picture on this home ice.
And Paxton Haynes, I believe. Paxton Haynes is standing by with Corey DePonio. And we'll send it down to him.
All right, guys. Here with Corey DePonio and Brick Fisher. Corey, I'll start with you. Big win for you guys. One went so well. It allowed you guys to get that huge win.
Yeah, it was just a complete full 60 minutes, complete team effort. Everyone was bought into the same system. Everyone did their part, and we got the result we wanted.
I like the cell you had after your goal in the second period. What's the feeling like with you guys in the playoffs now, looking good and ready to make a run?
We're feeling hot right now. I think everyone in the room is feeling really confident, and I think we got a really special group in our locker room.
Big game tomorrow against Denver.
I think we just have to play our game, play how we played today, and I think we'll come out with a W.
All right, thanks, boys. Good win.
Thank you.
Paxton Haynes at ice level there with Corey DePonio and Brick Fisher. Brick Fisher, fantastic game. As always, he's been a huge part of this D2 team, and will definitely be a big part coming into that playoffs as we welcome you back into the booth. Quinn Crack, alongside Kieran Warger, Nick Evans, our producer, Talon on the camera, Paxton Haynes at ice level for us, and what a game. What fun it's been to be able to cover this team, and I can't wait to do it next year.
Absolutely, Quinn. I mean, you've earned your spot here on this crew. It's been an honor covering these games with you, man. I mean, you came in here, and you've definitely made your mark here at SBS. I mean, we're not done here. I'm talking like we're seniors, man. We still got a year. Both of us are juniors. We still got a year left. Paxton's a sophomore. He's going to be here after we're gone. So, but I mean, it's kind of emotional when you have been covering a team all season, and it suddenly comes to an end. But I mean, This is a very exciting game, and I can't think of a better way for this D2 team to end off their season here at this rink.
Absolutely, and an exciting team to keep following after this game and into the BMHC final and the ACHA tournament. For Scope Up Sports, I'm Quinn Crack. Thank you for following us along today and throughout the season, and you heard it here first.
Right here on Scope Up Sports.
We're just a few days away from Super Bowl 60, the big game in Santa Clara. Sunday's game will feature one former Colorado Buffalo on the NFL's biggest stage. Brady Russell, class of 2023, is the current fullback and a backup tight end for the Seattle Seahawks. He also serves as the special teams captain of the franchise. Russell is the first alum to represent the program since Isaiah Oliver in Super Bowl 58. Despite several alumni to play in the past few years, no former Buff has been on a championship-winning roster since Nate Soldier with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 53. Christian Gonzalez, New England's top cornerback, also spent 2 seasons with the Buffaloes before transferring to Oregon, where he became a future first-round draft pick.
Hey Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 5 plays in Colorado sports. A bit of a lull in the action again this weekend, but nonetheless, we're still got some stuff to cover, so let's dive right in. Going to number 5, we go to women's hoops against West Virginia. Desiree Woot off the fast break. She'll get that open layup right over the defender for the Mountaineers. Let's get a slow-mo look at that going up that right side, laying it up. Boom, ladies and gentlemen, off that fast break. What a play. The Buffs only down by 3. Let's go to men's hoops now for number 4, this time against the Baylor Bears. Tough game here, but it's stolen by Josiah Sanders, and he's going to send it over to Jalen Holland, who launches for 3, and he gets it from downtown, right between the eyes. That was a tough game against Baylor, though, I will admit. Let's go to women's hockey now for number 3. It's picked up by Sophie O'Brien going up that far side of the rink. Takes a shot. Rebound in by Fischelli. She tips it in right out in front. What a play. And that game is tied at 1. Tough series, though. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Pro Bowl. Look, it's Shador Sanders and Garrett Bowles. You can't keep him out of the end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, Bowles' second touchdown of the game for the AFC. And just look at this. Sanders, tremendous accuracy, and Bowles making that tremendous catch. I don't think I've ever seen a lineman score a touchdown, but it's the Pro Bowl. Anything can happen. Now for number 1 now, let's go over to Isaiah Johnson. And the Dak attack! A monster slam for Bangot Dak against the TCU Horned Frogs right here in Boulder. Huge win for Colorado. That's going to do it for this week here on Scoba Sports Play of the Week. I'm Kieran Walker, wishing you a wonderful weekend.
Here we see Xavier McNevitz working on his reader for the live show. If we didn't have these readers done by Thursday night, chances are we would not be airing this show right now. Be like Xavier. Get your readers done. And don't forget to click save so that you don't lose any of your hard-earned work.
Well, I don't know if you have any plans Sunday morning at 3:30 a.m., but if you do, you're going to need to cancel them because this is rapid fire. Starting off tomorrow, Saturday, we got the Colorado Classic indoor track and field